Yeah. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall.
Our inside here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Sitting in a 4v3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find an angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. We're gonna take flag. See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
Good evening and welcome back, everyone. Time for some more CGL playoff action here in Season 17. We're here in the NA Masters tier right now, our biggest bracket, and we're going to be watching the Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiast playing against Aura Fury in our upper bracket. Still in the winner's side here, so neither one of these teams is going to go home tonight, but it is very important because the winner will go on to that winner's finals. I'm Shadowfang2, being joined by Mega Ninja 44 here on my left. How you doing tonight, Ninja?
I'm doing really well. I'm very excited to watch this match. I got to watch Aura Fury's last opponents was Dire Triggers, and they got reverse swept by Aura Fury, which really caught me off guard. And then I watched the Dire Triggers game against Fallen Vortex in the lower bracket, and so I really want to see how Aura Fury can perform against a team that may have some of their core players. So we'll have to find out, of course. Hopefully it's going to be a really, really good back and forth engagement right now we're in winners round 3. We're coming to the closing remarks of this tournament, and this could really go any which way. The winner of this going against Shoes Production Crew, and the loser of this going to be going against whoever wins against UTD Zenith and Blackout Eclipse.
Yeah, so really important matchup here. Positive note, you do get to avoid that Dire Triggers team like you were talking about. Might be going on a little bit of a lower bracket run. They've been a strong team all season. They won the Diamond tier last season and moved up to the Masters tier, trying to do something similar once again. And as you mentioned, Shoes Production Crew awaiting the winner of this matchup. Another strong team. Shoes Production Crew been on top of this tier all season. And, just to also mention, I expect this to be a relatively competitive series because the Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiasts, as we'll see later on in our lineups, they have a couple of players that are not going to be able to attend tonight's matchup. So it should prove for some interesting sort of dynamics between them and Aura Fury, I would say.
Okay, well, that just takes away what I just said earlier, because I said I know that Dire Triggers had a couple of substitute players in when they were in win against Aura Fury, and Aura Fury managed to get the win. Now Unwoke have a couple of substitute players, And so now, I mean, maybe history will repeat itself tonight. I mean, that could be definitely a possibility. We do know what our first map is going to be today for this series. We're going to be going right over to Nepal. Definitely not a common pick for this control. I think over the last couple of times in my playoff casts, I've been looking at a lot of Lijiang, maybe Busan, but never in Nepal, really.
Yeah, a lot of, like you said, Lijiang primarily. I've seen a little bit of Samoa, I feel like I've seen Samoa once or twice. Yes, I have. I had to make sure it was actually even in the map pool. That's how few times I've actually seen it. But yes, I've seen Samoa as well. But I'm wondering if the bans might tell us a little bit more about why Unwoke is deciding to pick this. And they are going to have the first ban. And, you know, what are you thinking about when you're going for a first map ban, Mega?
When I like to always say that the first ban is kind of always a feeler ban. You know, you don't really know what an enemy team might be running unless you've done some scouting previously. But a lot of the times you just kind of take out a strong character, maybe something that is relatively meta, just to kind of see what kind of compositions the enemy team is running. You know, maybe you throw in a Diva ban and you see how they do on the Zarya. You can throw in a Kiriko ban and see how you do when the backline's a little differently. Symmetra ban on Nepal is definitely interesting. Could definitely allow some shenanigans to not be happening as right now. I mean, like I said, I think it's just a feeler ban. You know, you get to see what kind of tanks and supports the other side's going to be running here, and they're not going to really be able to run any Symmetra comps if that's their bread and butter.
I'm of a very similar mindset to you, except the way I word it is, I say when you're on first map, don't even think about what the other team is potentially going to run. Just get rid of a thing that you don't want to deal with your composition, right? And when I see a Symmetra getting rid of here, it leads me to believe that Unwoke wants to play some style of brawl comp, but they don't want to play the Symmetra themselves, right? And Aura Fury going to be banning out that Diva. That could be another reason that they want to get rid of the Symmetra, right? They potentially wanted to run that Diva themselves, and so Aura Fury reading that, immediately going for the Diva ban on their end. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of a response. It doesn't necessarily mean that they want to run that Diva comp. It's just like if they were to run the Diva, taking the Symmetra off of the board makes the Diva a lot more viable. So, you know, getting rid of that Diva in response to the Symmetra is pretty common. You know, you're like, oh, we want to run Diva, let's get rid of Symmetra, that counters them. And they're like, oh, well, no, actually, we're going to get rid of the Diva so that you guys can't play that composition. It's genius. But, you know, I think it really could be some scouting or just, you know, counter bans.
Yeah, very well could be, but moving right along onto these rosters, Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiasts gonna be our first batch of players up. You can see them right there. We got Verlogic Clamp, Wubs, and then you got nobody running that tank with End on the support, with Kairos as well on that support line. As I mentioned before, Cloud Lemon is typically the person we tend to see run that tank more often than not, but tonight it is going to be nobody, as Cloud Lemon could not make it for some reason or another. I can't remember exactly why. But moving on to the other side, we've got Aura Fury, another really strong team. Like I said, made it very, very far. You got Atomic Duck and Blink on that DPS line with ACS second on that tank. And then you got Barudi and Gato running that support line.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me that Aura Fury, you know, I never like to look at what the preferred heroes are for some of these players, but looking at Atomic Duck and Blank, it is interesting to see them both on that Genji. You know, maybe that means that they like to run the double flex compositions. That could definitely be what that means. I mean, most of the time you do see like a hit. Like when we saw Unwoke's lineup, we saw the Tracer and the Hanzo, kind of showing you that Vero was going to be running that flex, and then Wubs was going to be running that hit scan potentially. But with the double flex composition, which is starting to see a little bit more play nowadays, that could definitely be a composition that we see. But I mean, right now, I do think that it is kind of up in the air, especially in where the meta is right now. I don't know if you caught Korea last night, but Korea was running rampant with Cat Bastion, just getting flown around everywhere. So maybe that'll be seeing the light of day today, but I'm not sure what the compositions are going to be looking like.
I'm not too sure myself, quite honestly. You know, these teams have been surprising me as of late, just picking what feels like potentially some random heroes here and there. I think the first sub map is really going to tell us a lot, especially with Diva not being on the board. It takes away, like, it almost takes away Dive entirely, because you don't see people tend to opt for Winston unless they're just pure head-on Winston players. I believe Cloud Lemon, the usual tank, does like to play that Winston, but again, with them not being here tonight, I highly doubt that that's the route that these teams go, and it seems like they are going to be opting for those more Ramatra Brawl style comps.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about the compositions before we actually walk out of the rooms, because, I mean, I think that Mercy might be bait from Baruti. I mean, she definitely could run it to pocket blank on the Pharah. That could be an option, but it's not a really common one. But I mean, as we count down, that could definitely be a composition, as Unwoke gonna actually be sticking to that Hanzo also. Very interesting comps here. Neither team is gonna be running the Kiriko.
Nah. Kairos was just baiting us, throwing out that speed ring for people to walk out of spawn with and then teleporting back to the team. But here we are, both teams just kind of poking and prodding at each other on this bridge. Not much happening yet. We're seeing some Pharah Mercy in 2026. Immortality already comes out, and Vero has already taken down Gato. The entirety of Unwoke is just aggressing onto this backline so hard. Vero looking for more kills. Nobody has taken down ACS, and Wubs grabbing Atomic Duck. Nobody can hit this far Mercy out of the air, but that's going to be the first fight going the way of Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts.
I mean, like, this is an interesting composition from Aura Fury. Yeah, you have the Far Mercy, you can pump out a lot of damage, but I mean, Baruti can only do so much as just the Mercy. You know, she can't really distribute heals to everybody else. As a blank, try as he might, can't really output that much damage to every single player.
No, you're absolutely right, and you're seeing it right here, because Wubs can just do that. You have taken down Vero, though, and you have taken down End as well, but the headshot by Wubs just doing so much. And Wubs with another. Can we get another one? What year is it? Is it 2016? I didn't know Hanzo could still do this.
Okay, I haven't seen a lot of the Hanzo in recent games, but I mean, Wubs is making it seem kind of meta right now. This character is definitely not entirely skill-based, but hey, the Unwoke now have a couple of ults on the board here. Gonna have that Rush, gonna have that Dragon more of a zoning ult, but Blank has to go kind of massive with this barrage here, otherwise this really could go more of the way of the Unwoke.
And that Dragon Strike does come out from Wubs, like you said, more of a zoning ultimate. Kitsune Rush being dropped from Kairos, and a Blink has taken down Wubs. The enemy is down, right? You have popped the barrage as well. It doesn't get a kill, but a lot of damage does come out. The trades are just going back and forth for these two teams. Great job grabbing that health pack. But again, Vero is managing to take down Blink in the meantime. Atomic Duck still alive, getting that kill onto Kairos. Flip has happened in the meantime. You're at 10%, but Vero is just putting in some crazy work on this Tracer. If it isn't Wubs, it's Vero in another fight.
Oh, End has that beat. It needs to be so careful, as, I mean, Vero going to be taken out of the equation. Now it's a 4v5 situation. I mean, Aura Fury should get the trade here, or the flip.
You would think so. Nobody staying alive on that point. And I mean the person nobody, not nobody. And the sound barrier coming out. And, you know, both Annihilations popping off as well. Gato has fallen down. And Vero's got an Atomic Duck. And it is just another one being taken down by this Annihilation of nobody. Just living for so long is nobody. And that is everybody down for Aura Fury.
Yeah, you would think that nobody is doing nothing, but that's the opposite. Nobody is doing everything on that Ramatra. Is that anything? That might not be anything. But but besides the fact, I think Aura Fury, they're trying out this interesting composition, but it's not really mattering all too much. As I mean, look at Wub. Just oh, that's one dink. Here, what about another one? Yep, there's another one. Here comes the res, but it doesn't matter all too much. I mean, bam. There's another one, and there's another. Like, good lord! I mean, you gotta shut down this Hanzo in some capacity, and it's really hard to do that when it's gonna be so difficult to do that. As we do see Baruti swap over to that Lucio, a much more common pick. But Blank staying on the Pharah. Yeah, again, like I said. Oh, okay, just kidding. I thought that we were gonna run a double flex DPS line from Aura Fury again, based off of their preferred heroes. But no, Blank is gonna swap over to that Emre there. Much stronger hit scan option, and now Unwoke are gonna have to change up their style a little bit.
Yeah, they absolutely will. Somebody's going to have to deal with Vero on this Tracer. That Tracer is just putting in massive amounts of work. The wall is out already. You have already forced the Immortality Field and the Nemesis form, and you just cannot walk on this right now. ACS has gotten end, though, in that meantime, and Vero has had the recall forced out already. The Tracer getting forced out, and if you're the side of Aura Fury, you can potentially get some touches on this point. Stop it from flipping too soon. ACS has gotten Kairos, and ACS taken down another one in Nobody. This Ramatra is just staying alive through everything and has gotten every single kill, I believe. That is a 5K for ACS on this Ramatra. Oh my goodness, here we are setting up for the next fight is Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiasts. We're about 80% or so on that Pulse Bomb for Vero. Wub's getting very close on that Blizzard as well. And then for the other side, Aura Fury Gato is getting close on that ultimate. And Blink has already dropped end. ACS dropping Kairos. Great job here from Aura Fury of just aggressing into the enemy team right now. Another kill onto Wubs, and the stick onto the Genji from Vero, trying to turn this fight on the Tracer. And, I mean, still, if you're Aura Fury, the point has not flipped yet, so you're still looking pretty good, I would say.
Yeah,
Vero taking down Baruti.
Yeah, you're able to, wow, I mean, through the miraculous efforts of that Tracer, I mean, Unwoke were able to get that flip, but I mean, they get 40%, and Aura Fury gonna be coming up on a lot of ults. I mean, they have pretty much 4 in the bank, as Unwoke a little bit behind, and hasn't really been able to farm that beat all too much, just kind of being taken down early in these engagements. So it's gonna be really difficult for Unwoke to capitalize on this next fight, unless, I mean, you kind of have to hope that this this beat from Baruti is either too early or gets Ajaxed. It's gonna be really difficult for Unwoke to win this fight. Maybe the Blizzard can go massive, especially into the override protocol.
Yeah, absolutely. There comes the Ant Matrix down from Gato. Really just gonna provide some space. Nemesis form coming out from ACS, trying to catch somebody out with that. And that is 2 kills going the way of Aura Fury. And there's that override protocol you mentioned. And there's an Annihilation coming out as well. So many colors on the screen right now, Megadin. Just so many colors. And now here comes the last kill. That is going to do it. Aura Fury taking that fight, but it costs them all of their ults in the process.
Yeah, they are the definition of broke right now. I mean, they have genuine. Wait, Wubs gets one. How did that happen? I mean, right now, Unwoke have all the advantages of the world. Aura Fury have nothing left. I mean, Unwoke can just play fast. They've already gotten a pick. They have ults on the board here. I mean, I think Aura Fury is going to lose this fight, regardless of anything.
It does appear that's going to be the case. Blizzard is coming out. You know, you lose ACS to that Blizzard, and, you know, at the very least, you kept the point for like 10% more when, in all likelihood, you shouldn't have. So you get it up to 70% now if you're Aura Fury.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is that it really only cost the Blizzard from Unwoke, so now they still have a beat and a Pulse Bomb in the back pocket as a Aura Fury. It's gonna really all be on Atomic Duck to go massive with this Venture ult. I mean, otherwise, Unwoke could kind of just stabilize and, you know, use their ults in succession and kind of just take the map away.
Vero sneaking, gets the stick, but the Immortality Field was available. Trying to force that Tracer out. The Lucio of End has been taken care of, and now the side of Aura Fury can potentially walk forward on this fight. Oh my goodness, Atomic Duck has gone down. That is your only ultimate down. Wait a minute, ACS has gotten a kill, and nobody is trading it out immediately on point. And it looks like we are going to have a pause right now, right in the middle of this fight. And I don't know about you, Mega, but it looks like that fight is definitely going Unwoke's way.
I mean, with 92%, and like I was so excited for Aura Fury because End dies first, and I was like, oh dang, that's like the beat taken off the board for Unwoke. But then you get the trade immediately onto Atomic Duck, who has that Venture ult available. So now there's no ults on the table. It's a 4v4 situation with nothing on the board. So it's really going to be interesting to see, you know, now in this 4v4 situation, completely in the neutral. I mean, End should be back fast enough with the beat on board to just kind of win out the fight here for Unwoke, as I don't think this Venture is going to be able to get back in time.
There we go, resetting right now. There goes that Ant Matrix dropping from Gato, but Gato has already fallen. The Sound Barrier you mentioned before comes out as well. And here we go. Oh, not the slow onto the M-Ray. Can't even jump. Atomic Duck trying to get some sort of value with that. Annihilation coming out from nobody to take down Baruti, and that is going to do it. Quick 2-0 fashion for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts, taking map 1, saying, hey, we're ready to go see Shu's production crew again.
Yeah, I mean, pretty convincing. It was a little back and forth in some engagements, but we'll have to find out, of course. You know, I mean, dude, Wub's on this Hanzo, not the pick that I was expecting at all, but I mean, it's going to be the exact same play, the replay that we we just saw this. I mean, just really good shots from Wubs there on that Hanzo, kind of shutting down everything that oh my gosh, Aura Fury, excuse me, was trying to get done there as yeah, I mean, just complete, not domination from Unwoke, but I mean, it was pretty close to such as I mean, now Aura Fury gonna be able to, you know, get their map selection and first ban here. So maybe they can change some things around. I mean, maybe they've gotten a feel about the compositions that Unwoke want to run, and maybe that will be the change that they need, as maybe they can be like, okay, they like running the Tracer, let's get rid of that, or I think that the Lucio needs to be taken off the board, right? It could definitely still go the way of Aura Fury. We're just going to have to find out kind of after this map number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you. Is there anything that you saw on that last map that could potentially lead us to any sort of idea as to what Aura Fury might do? Because to me, it looks like they really opted for the mirror a lot of the times in a lot of ways, except really on that DPS line and going for the BAP instead of the Kiriko. So could it be an instance where they potentially just go for the Kiriko ban because they don't even want to play it?
I think that's definitely an option that you have to consider. I think Kiriko ban is always a good ban if you're not comfortable running it on your own. Kiri Lucio is just a backline that is so incredibly powerful. It's been meta for, I don't know, how long has it been now? Many a moon, right? I mean, it's just been seeing no signs of slowing down. So I think that there is a world in which that Kiri ban comes online. But something else that we need to talk about is the fact that the flex DPS from Aura Fury never actually really went Tracer to try to match. So Vero kind of went uncontested. I mean, look, 22 and 3 on that Tracer kind of put in a lot of work. So I think there's a world in which maybe you take the Tracer or the Kiriko off the board. I think either of those are pretty strong options. Or you could maybe try to force an uncomfortable tank line. Maybe the Ramatra is nobody's bread and butter, and so taking that off the board, forcing something like a D.Va mirror could go your way. There's a lot of things that are on the table here for Aura Fury. I do think that you're right about maybe that Kiriko ban, but I think Tracer's also an option. But I mean, of course, I'm not them, right? I'm not Aura Fury, so I don't know exactly what they're thinking. You know, maybe they know something that I don't in terms of where they want to take us. Because I do think the map also matters. I think, you know, where we want to go incredibly is important. Like if they take us to, oh goodness, what's in the map pool? Okay, yeah. So if we go to Havana, like, I don't think that there's really a world in which you want to take out the Kiriko, because you do want to run more of a poke backline, so it doesn't really make sense. I mean, you can still run the Kiriko, of course, and some teams do that instead, but I think that maybe your other priorities are maybe looking at the hit scans, you know, maybe taking the Hanzo off the board if you do decide to go to Havana or something. It kind of just depends on where we want to go map-wise for Aura Fury, and what their thought process is in terms of what kind of composition they want to run.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely agree with you on that. Is there any sort of, like, style change we could potentially see here? Like, what... It's always hard to say that we should just totally shift the style, because I don't think Aura Fury necessarily looked bad in the straight-up mirror. I think they just had moments where they were losing to crazy plays that shouldn't happen consistently, right? Like, Wub shouldn't hit multiple headshots on Hanzo consistently. That shouldn't be a thing that is consistently happening. That is just a crazy sequence of plays that happened back to back, right? And it was the same thing with Vero, right? The biggest thing I think they can do is just stop Vero from being already on top of their Baptiste's head before anybody even shoots at the Tracer. That's probably the biggest adjustment that they would have to make as a team.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think there is a world in which there were situations in which Unwoke should definitely not have won. There were situations like I think it was I think it was like a 2v4, 3v4, something like that, in which Vero just went absolutely nuclear, finding 3 picks of their own to win the fight and get the trade. I think it was like second point at like 40%. I don't remember the exact like the lineup on both sides, but I don't think Unwoke were favored to win. But just an individual play from Vero went absolutely nuclear in order to, you know, get the job done and get that flip there. So now, you know, I think that it is interesting. You maybe want to take out a target, a DPS. You know, you're like, okay, that tracer, really annoying. We don't have a tracer that wants to mirror that. So you take that off the board. Maybe you don't want to run the brawl compositions. You take them off of the brawl kind of maps. You can take us to, let's see, you could go to Dorado. You could run Numbani. You could run... I could see an argument for like Rialto potentially to maybe run like a dive composition, right? You try to you go to Numbani, you ban out maybe ban out the Diva, and then you kind of force maybe like a Winston dive mirror. That could be the kind of composition that you want to play. I do think that maybe going dive is a good option for Aura Fury because the brawl with the Tracer is definitely not looking like that's their strong suit.
It's definitely not. You know, they have taken some of your advice, it appears. We do have our map selection. It is up on the board now. And it's going to be that Numbani that you mentioned previously. So you can see it right there on your screen right now. So looking like the side of Aura Fury is wanting to force that sort of dive mirror and taking us to one of the more classic dive maps in Numbani.
Yeah, I do think Numbani is the bread and butter of all dives, right? I think until that third point is like where you run the most Winston in the game of Overwatch, besides maybe Watchpoint Gibraltar, which isn't in our map pool. I think if Watchpoint Gibraltar was in, we'd be going there instead of Numbani, right? If Aura Fury want to run that dive composition. I think now in terms of the bans, Aura Fury definitely have a lot of options now in terms of dive. They can ban the Diva if they're not comfortable in the Diva. They can ban the Winston if they want to force a Diva mirror. They can ban Ana or a Brig. They could still take that Kiriko off the board. Since the style of the changes makes it so much different, it's going to be hard for them to kind of get a read on what Unwoke really want to play, considering it is a whole new composition, right? You know, it's going to be difficult for them to kind of figure out what Unwoke's dive comp looks like. Does it run a Doomfist? Does it run a Ball? Does it run a Winston? Is there a Genji involved, right? So Aura Fury kind of have to take a shot in the dark here for what they take off the board, and hopefully it allows their composition to shine through.
Looks like they are going to be taking that Kiriko out of contention for this map. And again, I think it's really just because they're not going to play it. I think that's the main reason. It's not even necessarily that you don't want to see it per se. It's that we're not gonna run it, so like we want you to be forced onto like something that we're gonna be playing. So Unwoke Yaoi gonna have their ban available to them now. Where do you think they go here, Mega?
Well, they only have tanker and DPS to look at, so if I was to look at maybe like the DPS line, you could take care of maybe a Reaper. They could ban the Diva. They could be the ones that ban the Diva this time. You could maybe take out the Winston. Okay, it looks like a Winston ban. They read my mind as I was saying it, as Winston going to be taken off the board. That kind of makes me feel like we're going to be in a Diva mirror here on Numbani, but I have been seeing a lot of teams run that Hazard, so that could be the preference here. But it does really kind of depend on each team's individual playstyle. I haven't been able to watch these teams individually, so I don't know what their dive comps look like. Dive comps can differ in so many different regards. I've seen dive compositions run Freya. I've seen them run an Ashe. I've seen them run... I've seen Ball, Doom, Diva, Winston. There's been so many different types of dives, so it's going to be really difficult to see what kind of compositions these teams are cooking up with this new type of style that we weren't able to see last time.
Yeah, absolutely. No Winston going to be available. No Kiriko going to be available. So probably going to see some more not standard dives, I would say, in this instance. But we do have a couple of substitutions, and it's really only one substitution. Blink is swapping over to that support role, and a Reason is coming in on the DPS line here. So Aura Fury does do this a little bit where they have people swap roles around. How do you feel about that?
It makes me think. I don't know the exact reason for this. Maybe Blank has maybe they have a brig on them that they want to whip out. Maybe Baruti doesn't have that brig on them. It definitely could be something to consider as a reason coming in. Again, looking like they prefer that flex DPS role, which could mean that we do. I mean, this could be a situation in which this Genji Tracer preferred heroes actually comes to life. I don't know if I love it. It's really difficult to scrim when you have multiple people on multiple roles. I would know from experience, but you know, it could work out for Aura Fury's favor.
It's gotten them this far, you know, that's what they would argue, but I tend to feel the same way as long as you're consistent with what you do, though, right? I think that's really the key. Is Blink always in for support on this map? As long as we're always doing the same thing when we play certain maps, then it totally makes sense. If you're just swapping at the whim of whoever's playing, I think that's a little bit different, because I'm sure you've been in that situation as well, where people are just like, I feel like doing this now, so we're going to do this. But no, that's definitely not the play. I think, I'm trying to remember, I feel like Blink played ERE really, really well the last time I casted this team. It's hard for me to remember, though.
I do think it does determine, especially when it comes to like maybe not swapping up the characters. As I thought, Blank is going to be going over to that Brigitte, so maybe that means Baruti doesn't have one of them on their own as a. Also a ball mirror, definitely interesting. I actually haven't been able to cast a ball mirror, and Wub's going to be in that Hanzo yet again. So definitely some interesting compositions here. But we'll have to find out which one's better, as End is also going to be on that Alari, which is not really preferred in most dive compositions. Alari more of a poke support, so maybe End will end up swapping off of that. But we'll have to find out here as we do get underway.
Here we go, walking out of the spawn doors. Everybody rolling and floating to wherever it is they need to go. Nobody setting up on this wrecking ball, looking for a slam. Gonna slam. Blink has already killed Vero. The Tracer has been handled. All it took was a Brigitte, and End has taken care of the Brigitte. And now you're stuck in a situation where this Ana is just wandering around and falling to Wubs, but Atomic Duck in the meantime has killed both supports. And now, oh my goodness, Wubs, another one. Is that a headshot onto the Hammond? I didn't even know you could land a shot like that. That is such a tiny hitbox. First fight going the way of Unwoke Yaoi.
Wubs on this Hanzo just manages to find these picks out of seemingly nowhere. I mean, like, the Ana and the Brig were able to just take the high ground, and Wubs somehow got up to that position, took one out, and then turned and took care of the other. So, I mean, completely dominating there from Wubs, just to be able to make this a little bit of a closer series. I mean, this Dragon already going to be online here.
It absolutely is, and the tracking right there, taking a reason straight out of the sky. Shoot the Dragon into the hallway, you won't. And there it is, Wubs getting one, but falling to Atomic Duck in the meantime. But it's too late. It's too late if you're Atomic Duck. You've already lost both of your supports. ACS has also been antied. Atomic Duck is eventually going to fall here, as will ACS second. You're essentially just kind of staggering yourself at this point, and down goes a reason. Full team reset for Aura Fury.
Dude, I mean, just Wubs being able to find these picks, and Aura Fury trying their best to get these trades, but I mean, it costs too much from them, and so it's going to be a full reset there. They don't have their supports right now, so maybe Aura Fury can take this aggression and run with it. They're going to be technically at an advantage here, but it's going to be difficult for their supports to get set up, especially with Wubs just kind of being that eye in the sky, making sure they're not able to be comfortable at any moment.
Yeah, absolutely. ACS trying to dive, so is a reason, but Wubs recognizing I can kill the Echo. I might not kill the Diva, but I'm going to kill the Echo. And End taking the mech, causing ACS to jump off the map. You know, a good coordinated effort to get the one kill, but in the meantime, you are just losing your entire backline to nobody. Atomic Duck has taken down the hamster diving the backline there. And now Aura Fury, if they can get like a quick reset, I think they should be able to start pushing this.
Head of Sun coming out here from End could connect onto a couple of players as if this Diva comes back fast. Oh, that's a lot of damage, but there's a nice nano from the side of Unwoke, but it's going to be really difficult to match that as it's going Could go either way.
Oh my goodness, End somehow sets off that captive sun, and what a sleep, nice sleep. Gonna catch End out is Gato, and meanwhile, back at the plot, the point is now being captured by ACS. ACS says, hold on, I have a defense matrix to deal with this Hanzo. Oh my goodness, Wubbs has the moves on this character, finally is taken down after just the assault that has been taking place. Point capture is finally, it appears, no, there's the point touch. It is now, it looks like, going to go the way of Aura Fury.
Oh, some last second touches. This ball's trying their absolute best. Oh, and Gato gets taken down. Wait, is it winnable for the side of Unwoke? No, there's no way.
No. That is going to eventually go the way of Aura Fury. It took a little while. It took a couple of ultimates, but it did go their way. How'd we end up there, Mega?
You know, the way we ended up there is, my client has chosen not to answer. But we do get a time refresh for Aura Fury and a couple ults on the board. They have the duplicate, they have their own bomb, and Wubbs is going to swap off of that Hanzo to go over the Emery. It's a dang shame because I really liked watching that Hanzo just kind of dink people from anywhere they please. But nobody going to have that minefield online, and this pulse also could be devastating. I mean, they could just whittle this time bank down as much as they need to. They had an incredible first hold.
They absolutely did. The Echo going in. The Ana copy has come out. The Anti does not land, but the Sleep does. As long as you get one of them, you're in good shape. Wubbs getting down to 1 HP. Not dying, though. The bomb going off. Getting nobody to about 10 HP right there. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe that ball lived through that. That is crazy work. Atomic Duck getting taken down on the point as well. Aura Fury in just going down in crazy fashion right there when it looked like they had all the advantage.
Yeah, it's just so difficult, right? You're trying your absolute best to make some kind of value trade, but it's just so difficult when you're in a position where you pop your ults and you're not able to find any value. And so now, I mean, Unwoke have the advantage here. This rally could go massive, and this Override Protocol going to try their absolute best to get something done.
And, I mean, Arisen already down, but Atomic Duck getting one onto Kairos, taking down Wubbs as well. But in the meantime, Blink has died on the cart, and Gato has said, you know what, I don't need to be a part of this. Let me just back on up out of here, and we'll go in the next fight with Nano and Rally.
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea. Definitely could be a devastating fight. I mean, both support also online for the side of Aura Fury, but nobody behind could definitely disrupt some players as there's 30 seconds left. As they need to get something done here for the side of Aura Fury.
Yes, they absolutely do. Nobody swinging through, as you mentioned previously. Those shots landing from Gato, almost getting the kill onto the opposing Brigitte. Oh my goodness, that was close. Rally coming out from Blink just to kind of sustain everybody. Nano Boost going on to ACS, and that is an immediate kill onto that Ana. Vero has fallen as well, and down goes Wubbs on using that Override Protocol as well. You don't have that ultimate available now, and you've just taken down the Brigitte, and that should be a point cap eventually. Nobody is alive. And I mean the person nobody, not literally nobody is alive. But now nobody's alive. So point cap coming through for Aura Fury.
That's got to be so annoying to cast. I can't imagine doing play-by-play for that. Oh, nobody's left alive. Nobody's left alive. Yeah, it's got to be annoying. But it's a devastating fight to lose for Unwoke, as they did pop the Nano and the Override Protocol, and their rally as well. Not going to be at a very high ult charge. So, I mean, there's a minute left, but Aura Fury have a lot of space to be working with.
Ooh, but Atomic Duck getting that kill onto Vero leaves a lot of space for your team to work with if you don't have to worry about that Tracer anymore. ACS can be aggressive. Atomic Duck has gotten another one. I mean, those grenades with Emery just do so much damage. To sleep onto nobody. Can they finish off nobody? Nope, nobody is going to get out there on that Wrecking Ball. Gonna get healed up as we see Vero looking for that damage on that Tracer. Not gonna find much. The Tracer copy coming out from Arisen, looking for the Pulse Bomb. Didn't actually get to get the Pulse Bomb off, did Arisen. Oh my goodness, Blink has killed nobody. And Vero has traded out the Echo of Arisen. Rally gonna come out from Blink on the point. Vero gonna get caught by that Rally. Override Protocol coming out, already catching on to 2. And that Brig is just dead as well. Atomic Duck is just putting in some work on this Emre right now. I mean, my goodness. If this Wrecking Ball didn't have so much HP, this point would have already been capped. I mean, Atomic Duck, that is a 5-piece for the Emre to finish off that full cap for Aura Fury.
If you have to look at the bright side here for nobody, it's the fact that, not for nobody, for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts is the fact that they managed to get it into an overtime situation. So if they're able to cap at a more than a minute, then it's unlosable for them, right? That's something that you got to look forward to. You kind of can't afford for this to be an extra round situation. But I mean, I guess you technically could, considering you're the one running the ball composition. But it's going to be difficult. They just have to hope that they have a really solid attack round, as just a little bit of unfortunate ults coming through from Unwoke, and now Aura Fury could be in a good position here if they can get a similar hold.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you. I think that ult fight on second point that you brought up at the moment, that was really the moment that Aura Fury won the third point, quite frankly, because the snowball of those ultimates just continued to show itself through the rest of third point. And Unwoke Yaoi, at least initially, Vero said, hold on, I kind of like that Echo character. You're telling me I get to be anybody else on the other team or my own team? I believe that was a change that just happened recently where Echo could copy their teammates again. So could be an instance where we see 2 divas on the field, 2 Anas, 2 Emres, right? That Emre ult is kind of crazy if you got 2 of them going off at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, being able to copy your teammates is definitely something that is really valuable, as this, I mean, it's going to be kind of close when you really think about it. Unwoke, I like their composition a little bit more. Wubs on that Hanzo could be able to find some individual pick value that you're not really able to get on Emre, just because it's so difficult to get one shot on an Emre.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Too much damage. Nobody, just looking for some shots here. Biro has already taken down a Reason on that Echo, saying, hey, you know, I play this character too, you know what I mean? Let me show you how it's done here. Nobody getting low in that mech, as is ACS actually. And oh my goodness, Atomic Duck has been caught out by Vero. And this is just going so poorly right now. But Gato said, hold on, I got this. And Wub said, hold on, I got this. Hold this arrow for me. A Reason down once again. This Echo is just getting tortured right now on this first point. And that should be, I would think, at the very least, a first point capture for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts.
Vero saw a Reason on Echo last time. I was like, you know, I wonder what would happen if I mirrored that. It just went nuclear. Just being able to find everything creates so much space, and just allow the rest of Unwoke to just finalize some kills. Wubs just being able to get some nice dinks there. Look at the ult charge. I mean, Wubs has that dragon. Unfortunately, it is dragon, so you're not going to really be able to find any kills unless, I mean, everybody is on the floor. I guess it's gonna be difficult for them to find any kills, as Wub gets taken down, but a trade there, making it a 4v4 situation, and Unwoke can still win this fight out.
They are certainly trying to. Vero does manage to just get out on that Echo, getting a nice reset for themselves. Atomic Duck is coming up on this override protocol. The Nano going on to Vero, and they are just in the back line right now. Oh my goodness, Atomic Duck is already been dismantled and taken care of, as has this Diva as well. Wubs just putting in the work on this Hanzo. Here we are, just rounding this next corner, waiting for this next fight to take place with Aura Fury here. A lot of ultimates online for both teams. Oh my goodness, this is the fight if you're Aura Fury. I think this is the fight you really absolutely need to win. What are you thinking, Mega?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to, as it's a 4v4 ult fight, but Wub's getting another kill onto Atomic Duck. That's one of your major ults taken off of the board here. It's going to be really difficult for them to win this, and if they do win it, it's going to cost them everything.
What in the world? The Diva got copied, but I swear that voice line just said Sierra got
That's
copied.
okay. I heard that too.
I had to pause for a moment. But all right, the teams are just continuing to trade on this cart. Arizen has taken down Kairos. The bomb is dropping from nobody right now. Does not get anybody. And Atomic Duck has gotten the kills. Wubs grabbing Arizen as that little exit kill. And, you know, this could be a moment for Unwoke Yaoi to try and push this.
Yeah, Aura Fury gonna not really be that behind. I mean, they have an override protocol, and Unwoke used everything to try to get that job done, but they weren't able to. As we have a 3-minute mark, as Wubs just finds another random kill onto an Ana. What a beautiful character Hanzo is. And they can really engage off of that.
Oh my goodness, that is what's going to happen here, but nobody immediately getting demeched. Override protocol is coming out. Atomic Duck already dropping the Diva, and down goes the Wu Yang as well. Down goes the Ashe, and there's the Ana. Also, the override protocol. Seems like that's all we needed if we're Aura Fury.
Yeah, Vera gonna swap over to that Genji. I feel like they were just on the Ashe. But speaking of Ashe, Aura Fury gonna have that Bob online, but that's gonna be a huge ultimate to use. It's definitely gonna whittle some time down unless Unwoke are able to get rid of it. Cairo is gonna have a Nano here. That could be devastating if you get the Nano onto the right person, maybe on a nobody, and they just insta dive Gato or Blank or a Reason. Then it could just be the fight over right then and there.
Absolutely could be. I'm really curious to see where this Bob placement is going to be. There's the Nano, and that's it. The Bob no longer has an opportunity to exist. The sleep does come out onto nobody. Atomic Duck is also going to fall. ACS trying to get some trades in the meantime. Kairos going to have to back off, taking a little too much damage there. But that is going to do it. This point is eventually going to go the way of Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts. And, I mean, what a great Nano, right?
Yeah, just using the Nano, focusing the target. They're like, okay, we know that Bob is online here, so we have to just make sure they're taken off the board as soon as possible. And so Arizen not going to be able to pop that Bob in time. And so now, I mean, they're going to hold it for the next point. And does get taken out, making it a 4v5 situation. But there's 3 minutes on the clock. And if Unwoke cap this in a little under a minute, this could be a unlosable situation for Unwoke.
Yeah, I mean, all they got to do is get one stray kill from Wubs, and that might be enough to capture this point. But the kills coming through from Atomic Duck mean that Unwoke Yaoi are going to have to back off and reset for this next fight. A lot of ults online here. I'm really curious who that title blast is going to go on to here. Do you just send it onto nobody and have them go into the back line, try and get another kill potentially? Could be the option here. Not sure. What are you thinking?
Okay, it's going to go into the Diva, actually. The Bob is going to be also utilized, and the Sun onto the M-Ray. There goes the Reason, as a lot of these health bars are incredibly low, and it's going to be really difficult for Aura Fury to win this now, as we do approach the 2-minute mark, and it's just this Diva and this M-Ray. But those are the two ults that are available. Blank has that rally coming online here, but I mean, Unwoke going to be having 3 of their own.
Yeah, Unwoke coming up on the classic, the Nano Blade, going to be available for them shortly, as well as the remake available for nobody. Here they are, both teams just kind of trading here. I mean, if you're Aura Fury, you're happy to do this. Override Protocol coming out from Atomic Duck. We've seen that be effective before. Will it be effective this time? That's 1, that's 2. I mean, Atomic Duck just showing their worth on this M-Ray. And that is another one dropping. This guy's been unstoppable for this entire map.
Yeah, I mean, every single Override Protocol has been doing so much work for the side of Aura Fury, as nobody just not going to be able to DM the shots that are necessary to be eaten. As now it's going to be looking like this is also going to be an overtime situation, or at least we're going to be going to extra rounds, as Unwoke have 3 outs of their own, and Aura Fury really just have a bomb available, so that bomb kind of not going to be able to find a lot of value. I guess you're going to have to hope to get your Nano online fast enough so you can give it to your Diva and pray that they're able to get rid of the Ana before the Nano comes out, but that's far ways away.
Yeah, Nano Blade potentially going to be the option here. The Nano Blade does come out. The nade catches, and Atomic Duck is burning through potentially enough of this Nano Blade. And they do actually, the Nano comes on to Blink, allowing them to take down Vero. And that is a raid boss, my friends. Even without the ultimate, you don't want to fight a Brigitte up close with a nano boost. And the entirety of Unwoke Yaoi has backed off, and they did just enough to win that fight, did Aura Fury.
Yeah, Nano Blade is not going to be able to find the value there, and now, I mean, you're going to have to pray to find the Bob in like 4 seconds. This Diva could be taken out of the mech, but I mean, they have a bomb available, so you just have to stall and pray you can get this Bob online fast enough, but that's going to be difficult, especially with nobody taking off the board.
Oh my goodness, yes, nobody taken down immediately. Bob gonna be coming out. And there goes Bob. Isn't going to touch the point, though, so somebody else is going to have to, and it looks like that is going to be Kairos, who does eventually fall, and that is going to be map 2 going in the favor of Aura Fury. It looked like switching it up and going Numbani ended up being the right play.
Yeah, just being able to get some swaps up in terms of the composition that you want to run really worked in their favor. Atomic Duck on this Emery was pretty much uncontested. I kind of think it was nobody's job to eat the shots that were important, but I mean, you just weren't able to, just either out of position or just not in mech. It was just really difficult for them to find any value to shut down that Emery ult. But, I mean, really good stuff from both of these teams, and hey, at least it's going to be a competitive series. But now, Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts going to be having the complete control. They're going to be able to pick map. They're going to be able to pick the band first. And they have a lot of options on the table. And they kind of know now what Aura Fury likes running. Maybe they take that Emery off the board. Maybe the Echo is a problem. Maybe you do force them back onto a Brawl composition and try to win out in that regard. But we'll have to find out, of course, as they're going to have to take a couple moments to respond. Nice shot.
Oh. Goodness, I mean, yeah, the shots from both teams were just insane for this entire map. I mean, Atomic Duck on that Emery just couldn't miss with those override protocols, and in the neutral too, quite frankly. And I mean, the Diva just looked so effective for the side of Aura Fury. It didn't look bad for Unwoke Yaoi, but they weren't playing like a full coordinated dive. It felt like they were trying to make like individual hero plays to me. I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some miscommunication in terms of old combinations. I mean, Unwoke had everything at their advantage. I mean, Aura Fury had just a bomb online, and there was a Nano Blade. There was no defensive ults to be utilized, but they just weren't able to find the value that they desperately needed from Vero with that Nano Blade. So just a little bit of miscommunication there, not going to be able to find enough value from some of their ults, and a lot of swaps coming through a little bit late into the engagement. I mean, we saw a couple times that Vero went from, I don't know, one character to another in the span of like 30 seconds, and you're just not able to build ult charge in that time. So it's definitely an interesting situation. I think that Unwoke definitely can still make this a competitive series, but they need to change some things up.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So we're going to give them a few minutes to do just that. We're going to cut to a short break here, but, you know, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes to finish out this series.
Never in my life did I imagine it be peace. Never in my life did I imagine it be peace. Never in my life did I imagine it be peace. Never in my life did I imagine it be peace.
And welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our little break we had there. Took your time to use the restroom, grab any sort of thing you wanted to eat and or drink. I know that's what I did. Got to grab some water, you know. It's a lot of talking over here, so need to be making sure we're hydrated. I'm Shadow Fang. That is Mega Ninja. And as you can see right here, we are in a 1-1 series. Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiast, Aura Fury, NA Masters tier, upper bracket. How did we end up here, Mega?
How did we end up here is a great question. I think the first map went a lot of the way of Unwoke. I think their composition definitely just favored the map style. And then Aura Fury took them to a dive map, took out the Winston, which I didn't really think was going to happen. And then they just kind of made it incredibly close and were able to get it done thanks to just some unfortunate ults from the side of Unwoke. But we do have our third map already. They don't want to waste any time. We're going to be going straight on into Shambali Monastery. Definitely, if we were going to see the third type of composition, because we've seen Brawl, we've seen Dive, I think if we were to see Poke today, it would be here. That could be something like a Sigma, Domina, the Hanzo could definitely come out to play yet again. Alari definitely could also be an option. But I think that this could, I mean, if we were to see all three comps, it would be right here and now.
I think this is like a two-pronged pick as well. You picked Shambali because typically we do see a lot of those Brawl styles and or Poke styles. Those are like the two most primary play styles. But you've also removed the possibility of an escort dive map. You've removed that possibility if you're Unwoke Yaoi. So now you're left with Push and Flashpoint being our only two map types left. Map types that, in theory, should support and favor you, because based on what we saw on Nepal at the very least. So this is like a doubly smart map pick, I feel like.
Yeah, so now Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiast is going to be able to have that first ban on the board. I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think maybe you take the Emery off the board. You take the Emery off of the board, you force a more, I'm going to say a more honest hit scan duel, but, you know, there's nothing really honest about a Hanzo, so I'm just going to say that and leave it at that. As, I do think that an Emery definitely was a challenge for Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiast. Yeah, okay, just instantaneously. Not even going to beat around the bush for it. So now, Aura Fury going to be able to look at tank and support. Unwoke Yaoi have banned 2 DPS now, I just realized. And so now, Aura Fury going to be looking at tanker support. They could maybe look at the Sigma, maybe the Domina, maybe the Alari. The Baptiste could be an issue. There's definitely a lot more, especially when we are on here Shambali. You can still run the Brawl compositions here, maybe even force that dive, but Poke is just a more common comp here.
Yeah, I'm most definitely tending to agree with you that maybe you try and get rid of that Sigma. You could get rid of the Wu Yang. We saw a little bit of that being played, but the Sigma is just the obvious pick if you're not going to play it yourself. So, Aura Fury going to get rid of that Sigma pick. We're probably going to be leaning into more of those Ramatra playstyles that we were seeing on map 1. So, it's time to see if Aura Fury has figured out how to play that a little bit differently than what we saw on the first map.
Yeah, as we do look, we're not going to be able to get any swaps in. Blank's still going to be on that support, Reason's still in, and nothing's changed. We're going to be running it back the exact same way we were looking on Numbani. I think that this really could go either way. We're going to have to find out how these teams really want to run that Poke, or if they're just, because nobody prefers the ball, which makes me think one thing, and that's going to be that the ball is going to be the pick here. Definitely could be an option, but it is kind of just up in the air. But if they run the Poke, then we'll have to find out who's better in the Poke mirror, and then from there they can kind of try to figure out what maps best suit the situation.
Yes, absolutely. For the time being, at least, looks like both teams going to be opting for that Ramatra pick. Unwoke Yaoi going to be playing their classic compositions, what we saw them playing on Nepal. Literally the exact same composition they were playing on Nepal, so no surprises there. Wubs saying, I am not getting off of this Hanzo character. This is what I'm going to be playing. And Atomic Duck saying, I can fire arrows in your direction as well. Only difference really being that backline. What do you think about the difference there?
Yeah, I think Aura Fury's backline is definitely more of a poke-centric one. The Zen going to be able to apply Discord onto whoever really wants to be taken down, and ACS going to be able to kind of engage on that. You get a Discord onto that Ramatra, and then you just kind of win the neutral. So it's going to be a little bit difficult here for Unwoke. Something I really liked real quick, though, I do want to point it out, was Kairos typing "Let's go all out" just this once. It made me think of, I don't know if you have watched JJK, like Season 3 or whatever, where they're having that final, okay. Well, I'm trying to tell a story here, Wobbs. Good lord.
Tough, tough, tough. That is going to be the death of Blink, and the entirety of Aura Fury gonna have to back off. Immortality's forced. Not over the shield, just a smidgen over the shield. That is crazy. I have seen the last episode of Season 3 also. That is exactly what old boy with the pompadour says to Yuta Okotsu in the last episode of JJK Season 3, for those who do not know. And there's another one, the Hanzo, just catching stray logs onto these people as they try and walk.
I can't. How am I supposed to color cast this? Yeah, really good play from the Wubs there, just deciding who to kill on the map. I forgot that Hanzo got that perk recently. Choose one enemy player and eliminate them, no matter where they are. As I mean, Wubs is going rampant right now. Atomic Duck gonna swap over to that Cass to do something maybe, but I mean, Wubs just in complete control as a minute and a half have passed, and a lot of ults coming online for Unwoke and not a lot for Aura Fury.
No, I mean, I gotta be honest. All that needs to happen is the side of Aura Fury just needs to be behind their Ramatra. If they're behind their Ramatra, they won't just, you know, die to stray arrows like that. Getting a lot of charge is a reason. Trying to get some kills on this Symmetra. And there's that Nemesis form coming out. A lot of punches coming through. Gonna catch out onto nobody. And there you go. That's all you have to do, right? You just got to make it across a choke and not die to the random spam. I think the Symmetra will actually help out a lot with that, just being able to teleport around.
Yeah, just being able to kind of negate the space that you need to take against Wubs, who's just kind of being able to free fire. But once you teleport across two pretty safe areas, you cut a lot of distance that Wubs could just find a random kill. Has a lot of ults coming online here for Aura Fury. They're going to be pretty much at 5. It's going to be really difficult for Unwoke to win this.
Oh my goodness, we have popped quite a few ultimates. Atomic Duck saying, I don't even want to deal with this Ramatra. Let's get this one out the way immediately. And that is going to be the fight. Eventually going the way. Nice hinder coming through. Atomic Duck showing it wasn't the override protocol. I just got the aim like that.
Yeah, they should be able to get a touch here, and that beat still online here. But I mean, there's a Transcendence from Blank. It's going to be so difficult, especially with the Symmetra going to be able to stuff that high ground with a TP.
Oh, Sound Barrier does come out from end, and the aggression is coming in. Transcendence going to be popped, but not in time to save Atomic Duck. Both annihilations going off. A lot of colors on your screen right now, people. But it is going to go the way of Aura Fury. Nobody probably going to wish they had that annihilation back there.
Yeah. It was not the greatest of usages. Aura Fury gonna not really have anything in the bank now. 40% on a bunch of stuff. But really good things here from Unwoke. I mean, they are able to stall for a long time. A time refresh does come through with the cap point. It's only going to be 3 minutes, of course, but if they keep holding the way they have, I mean, if Wubs is able to get set up into a position again where they're just able to find random kills, then they definitely could shave off even more time and force some really bad ult use. What is N doing? Okay, there's a kill on Nagato with the dragon. I didn't think I'd be casting that in 2026.
That is an unfortunate set of circumstances for Aura Fury. You just have to back off, right? Blink said, I'm going to get my one, though. I'm going to show this Tracer of Vero. You cannot push me like that. But you, however, can do that if you're Wubs.
Yeah, just do Wubs doing Wubs thing is just like kind of a sentence that describes how Unwoke have been able to hold for so incredibly well. As ult charge is going to be kind of similar from Unwoke, as they're a little bit behind. Atomic Duck going to have that high noon, but I mean, if Wubs can go for more incredible shots here, could definitely build that dragon back. I mean, that's one of the fastest charging ults in the game. But Aura Fury going to be behind, maybe a window in time, but with the teleporter, it does cut a lot of distance down.
It does indeed. They're already on this point. Oh, not the storm arrows. Got to be careful there. And oh my goodness, ACS just all the way in the back line has just taken down nobody immediately. I mean, this Ramatra is just being very aggressive right now. Wubs, Wubs can't do nothing if you're already in their face, just punching the rest of their team. And I mean, oh man, I don't think there's going to be any touch here. That should be a 2nd-point capture for Aura Fury.
The Tracer's going to try their best, but with the recall already forced in a slow there, yeah, that's just going to be the point. It's so difficult for Wubs to find any value with that Symmetra on the board, because, I mean, they're just going to TP you directly into you, and Wubs can't really find a random kill when they're right in front of you, as they're just going to keep this aggression going.
They are indeed going to push in 35 HP in a dream for ACS. The Deadeye coming out, and nobody going to fall down as a result. And oh my goodness, oh, there it is, another shot coming through. Atomic Duck on this Cass. I swear Cass has some of the most satisfying headshots in this game, from me personally, at the very least.
Yeah, I do agree with you about the headshots. The wall's available now, and here's the window, and it's, I mean, there's no reason Aura Fury shouldn't just full cap this, I'll be so honest with you.
And we're going to see if that's what's going to happen. The barrier is coming out from a reason. That is going to wear off in about 3 seconds. The entirety of Unwoke Yaoi going to have to back off there. Kitsune Rush coming out. Gato gotten, but End was traded out immediately, and that is Kairos, the other support. Annihilation coming out from ACS. Transcendence going to have to be popped, but nobody is pushing cart because of that fact. So somebody got to get on this cart, because Transcendence doesn't count as a person anymore. And the Dragon Strike going to come out onto the point. 3 meters. Somebody is on the point contesting. Annihilation is coming out, but, you know, Blink said, here, hold this Discord orb for me. I'm going to need you to go down real quick. And the Ajax, that's an Ajax. That is an Ajax in 2026. There is there it is at the bottom of your screen, folks. An official Ajax coming out and a full cap through for the side of Aura Fury. Everyone gets one, as Blink has said.
No, I'm so sad. I mean, what started off really well from Unwoke just completely dissolved with the Symmetra swap. I mean, your entire strategy for Unwoke is just allow Wubs to do whatever they want on that Hanzo, but it's so difficult to do that when Aura Fury is just constantly in your face, just TPing in front of you. There's a Cassidy right-clicking you. There's a Ramatra punching you in the head. It's so difficult for Wubs to find any value, and I think some of the swaps there were just a little too late, as they really just couldn't get another fight in after losing that first point. So, you know, definitely gonna be interesting as I mean, Aura Fury could, I mean, if they figured out the strategy for now, oh god, oh god, why do we have to show that again? Oh god, oh my god.
Oh, we slowed it down too. I don't know if you heard that. That was slow motion. I don't know if you caught that, but that was slow motion for the people at home.
Just a really like a Japanese like drama or something where they cut to it like 14 times or something at different angles. Oh good lord, that is devastating for End. But if Aura Fury have figured it out by now, if Wubs isn't able to find that value that they've been desperately trying to gather, it's going to be really difficult for them to match the Aura Fury's attack here.
Well, now they've opted for Wubs to go on to this Mei instead, so a more team-based hero, if you will, instead of just going for those kills. But End is immediately down, and nobody looking to follow suit shortly. And I mean, oh my goodness, Aura Fury seems to have figured out something with this Symmetra.
Yeah, definitely a bad situation, going from bad to worse. I mean, End is just taking just too much damage, right, at the end of the day. It kind of feels like this Lucio is frontlining. They've gotten, what, 10% ult charge? Is Cairo going to be 5 times that right now? It's going to be really difficult for them to push if End keeps playing that like that.
Oh, wow, Atomic Duck has fallen down to Vero. And yeah, there it is, the wall. I feel like the wall of Wubs was really good right there in just splitting off the whole team. That's going to be a team kill for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts.
Yeah, really good showing there from Unwoke, as they are going to be able to get that first fight underway and get this objective moving a little bit closer to that first fight. No ult online here, as Wub's going to probably be the first one to get it online. This Blizzard could be massive here, could just secure the point right here, right now. So Aura Fury need to be a little careful about that. I don't know if they know how quickly Wubs has been able to get this ult.
No, I doubt they do. That May usually doesn't build up all that quickly, and you're nowhere near a transcendence of your own. Vero has taken down Atomic Duck, and there's that Blizzard you were talking about. A couple of kills have come through. The teleporter does not come out in time, though. That is an annihilation being popped from ACS. Kitsune Rush in response to that. And Gato still alive in the back line on this Baptiste, does eventually fall to Vero. ACS still alive as well on that Ramatra. Wall going to come out from Wubs, trying to just slow down this push. But when you have no supports, you are eventually going to fall if you're ACS, and there it is. Finally does happen. And Blink going to be on that point. Nobody just punching away, and Vero getting that final kill onto Blink, and that is a first point cap.
Yeah, 4 minutes on the clock. Really good fight win for Unwoke, but a really good hold for Aura Fury. I mean, just trying their absolute best to stabilize as best as they could, as Atomic Ducks does swap over that Soj, mirroring Vero. And Unwoke gonna have a lot of ults. I mean, look at how fast. Look, Wubs has been able to build ults on any character they're on so incredibly fast. I mean, every single time there's another Blizzard on, it's going to be so difficult for Aura to deal with this. I mean, they have a Transcendence. Oh, and that's going to make things a little bit easier to deal with.
That's certainly one way to go about it. It's like, no, you see, we kill the Batman. That's the answer, right? So now the entirety of Unwoke Yaoi has now backed off. A lot of ultimates online for this next fight, though.
Yeah, Aura Fury going to be having 2 ults. I mean, this trans could be really good, but Unwoke have just an overwhelming amount of pressure that they can apply. I mean, this beat, as long as it doesn't Ajax again, could just be the fight winner right here and there. The Blizzard also going to be absolutely huge, as Aura Fury have to use their ults calculated here. Otherwise, Unwoke is just going to run them over.
And there's the sound barrier coming out from Unwoke. As you mentioned, that Transcendence is still available, though. Oh, that is a huge rail shot coming out onto a Reason. Atomic Duck falling as well. The Transcendence did come out from Blink, but is it going to be enough? It is not. Kairos said, here, I need you to hold these kunai for me. Takes down both of the supports for the enemy team. Should have another fight, though, if you're Aura Fury.
I don't know where the Transcendence went. I think it was a really well-timed one. I mean, nobody and the Blizzard were both using their ultimates, and I thought that Blank would be able to keep everybody alive, but no, that's not the case. And there's now a rush versus a window, and this should go the way of Unwoke.
Oh my goodness, here comes the overclock coming through from Atomic Duck. And that is another annihilation coming through from ACS. Said, hold on, I am going to catch this Sojourn if I am going to get nobody else in this exact moment. ACS going to be alive on the point. This Lucio trying to deal with Wubs, but not going to be able to do so. And Wall coming out again. ACS is going to fall. And that is going to be another point captured for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts. 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, Aura Fury just not going to be able to do anything against this Mei, really, as Aura Fury don't have anything in the tank. I mean, Blank is going to be 52 to a B, but, I mean, Unwoke have just so much presence as nobody's going to be taking a lot of damage here. Going to have to pray to get out alive as, I mean, that's going to be an annihilation online here, and to Blank off the board, it might just have to be a reset instantaneously.
Oh yeah, you might be in that situation. You gotta deal with this May of Wubs. Not gonna be able to there though. That Nemesis form coming out from nobody already in the back line. ACS says, well, you know what? If we're not gonna win this fight, I'm gonna at least go die on this cart so that y'all can't move this thing as fast as possible. I will say that is one thing that's very commendable about Aura Fury. They're doing a good job of holding this cart as far back as they possibly can, but we're coming up on last fight territory, Mega.
Yeah, Aura Fury don't have anything, right? Unwoke should just absolutely win this out. They have 4 ults online and a lot quicker than what Aura Fury has even coming close. I mean, you're going to have to pray to God that this annihilation is going to go nuclear. Otherwise, it should just be Unwoke.
There's the Blizzard. Oh, man. Wubs already taken down 2. That Immortality is down. Wubs said, catch another one of these. Annihilation is on the point. And that is that is technically a C9. You probably could have burned another second or 2, but, you know, it's not the hugest of deals. 1 minute 50 seconds to 1 minute and 13 seconds to finish out this map.
Yeah, definitely does seem like Unwoke have figured things out as especially for their attack. As now it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for Aura Fury. They're going to have a lot less time on the clock, only 40 seconds, but that's plenty of time for Wubs to build an ult, considering the way they've been playing so far. So we'll have to find out, of course, as I do believe Unwoke will be defending first, right? If my Overwatch knowledge comes to fruition, I got a game show. I got to make sure I remember that.
Yes, they will be defending first.
Okay.
They have more time. They have more time.
Okay, yeah. So if Aura Fury isn't going to be able to get a good enough push, and then Wubs just kind of frags out with the damage, then it's going to really be difficult for Aura Fury to get the map win here. Maybe a couple of swaps up in terms of the composition will be coming through as Wubs is going to be on that Mei yet again. Not going to be on the Hanzo. That was definitely a problem for Aura Fury on this first point, but we'll have to find out if the Mei is going to be even more of a problem or not.
Not going to lie to you. This was actually, Aura Fury's comp they have right now was actually going to be like my idea, because it seems like the problem is they don't have enough frontline damage, but they're also dying to the Sojourn off in the distance. So it may be a situation where you just need to teleport on top of somebody with a Reaper and just burn them immediately. And that seems to be the same read Aura Fury has right now. If they can just get one fight win, I feel like that will be incredibly impactful here, especially with Wubs not being on this Hanzo now. Both sides just kind of poking and prodding at each other. This bot just kind of moving for free. Nobody has dropped. Is trying to do something on the point here. Oh, that Sim Beam is building up the damage. That is a freeze onto ACS, and that is the Ramatra going to go down. Aura Fury is going to want to reset this. Maybe not. Hold on. This Reaper of a Reason putting in a little bit of work here. You might want to just back off and regroup with the rest of your team if you're them. Never mind, a Reason. Just showing me up over and over again on this Reaper.
Oh my god, a Reason is giving you a reason to believe is more like it, as, I mean, Atomic Duck gonna be 74 to this wall, and they're finally gonna get some pressure on this objective. I mean, Wubs is gonna be so far ahead in terms of this Blizzard, you don't have anything to match it. So if Wubs isn't shut down almost instantaneously, this could be the Blizzard, and this could just be a full hold right here and now.
Very well could be. Coming up on that Sim barrier as well as that amplification matrix, the teleport into the back line. Not going to result in much. The wall coming out from Wubs. Wubs trying to get that kill onto a Reason. Does land it. The Blizzard comes out. But a Reason and Atomic Duck in the meantime already took out that Ramatra and that Lucio. Wubs has fallen. There's one more player to kill on that point, and that is going to be the first point captured for Aura Fury. And look at their ult bank as well.
That was devastating for Unwoke. Completely devastating. Oh, and we're calling for a pause. As I mean, we could talk about it really quickly. Unwoke popped so much to desperately try to win out that engagement, to stop the objective right then and there, but just weren't able to get the job done. The Blizzard not going to be able to find the value that they desperately needed, and so now Aura Fury, they have so much. I mean, they have a beat, they have a window, and they have an annihilation, and they're coming up on a blossom. And Unwoke have an overclock and their own beat a little bit behind. I mean, this is screaming Aura Fury getting at least 5 points here, which would be devastating, because Unwoke's lead, it's not big enough for them to really have like a little bit of breathing room. It's only 40 seconds, right? If the push goes far enough, then the overtime situation is going to be the situation no matter what. You know, if they stopped him on third, then you can be like, okay, that's like one more fight for their favor. They don't have to go very far, only a couple of meters extra. But now, I mean, this cap has come online, and if Aura Fury are able to get the fifth one, it's going to be really bad for Unwoke.
Yeah, this is a really tough situation to be caught in, because, again, there's 3 ultimates online right now, and a Reason is really close to getting that Death Blossom online as well, and doesn't even have the sound barrier up yet, right? Now, I recognize they're 87%, that is very close, but in this particular instance, you could get dropped by something at random. I know, I've filled as a Lucio player before. I always get dropped at 95% to something random in a fight that I absolutely needed to be alive in. But it looks like both sides are happy and are restarting this, so we're going to reset for this next fight. Where are you thinking it's going to end up here?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we kept this 5th point. If Aura Fury wins next point with maybe just an Annihilation and the end uses the beat, then you can just, you know, use your own beat to stabilize later on. There's the window already going to be creating so much space. The rest of Unwoke can kite this out pretty well. This overclock is going to be the make or break for Unwoke. If they don't find any value with this, that's going to be probably the 5th point right then and there.
There's the sound barriers for both sides coming out. Annihilation getting popped as well. Overclock, as you mentioned, Arisen has built up to that Death Blossom. Is it going to be popped here as well? Arisen has taken down nobody. Arisen looking, thinking about it, thinking very hard about it. Gonna take the TP and takes down End, but Wubbs has traded out Atomic Duck in the meantime. 0.48 meters separate Aura Fury and this point capture. Wubbs just sitting on top of the point all the way in the atmosphere. The Death Blossom does finally come out, and it is more than worth it, in my opinion, to just make sure you capture that point.
Yeah, Unwoke going to be in a little bit of a better situation. They have a Blizzard still online. Aura Fury did have to use everything, right? So this is kind of where I thought it was going to happen. So right now, Aura Fury, they're kind of happy with this situation. Right now, they're just going to try to squeeze out as many meters as possible. I don't think they're going to be winning another ult fight. This Blizzard is just going to be thrown onto the objective and should just shut things down right here, right now.
Wall has come up. There goes the Blizzard, and I think it missed.
Wait.
Yeah, the Blizzard has missed, but you have lost Blink in the meantime. End is in the back line looking for some damage on that Lucio. Both teams just trading in that front line. The flank coming through from Vero, looking to do some damage on that Sojourn. The slide, managing to get them out. That Annihilation coming out from nobody, catching on to somebody. And that is going to be the fight one for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts, holding at that first corner of point 3.
Yeah, really good push from Aura Fury. So now this is going to be a problem, right? If you're the side of Unwoke. I mean, you have a minute and 50, and you're going to have a lot of that time taken off of the board here in that first objective alone. You're going to have to play that second point almost perfectly. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult. I mean, like that Blizzard right there, they needed to get the value off of that Blizzard, and the rush was also committed, so I mean, it's going to be so difficult. It's really going to come down to maybe like 1 or 2 fights where you have to win at a deficit. Otherwise, Aura Fury is just going to have to misplay. Otherwise, this could be a situation in which, you know, if blank Ajaxes, that could be something that, you know, allows you to breathe a little bit more easily. But it's going to be so difficult. Minute 50 versus a minute and 14 seems like a lot whenever you need to only go a couple of meters, but going 2.5-ish points is devastating.
Yeah, I mean, you can only lose like 2 fights, right? And they have to be early fights too. Like you can't have any prolonged fight that you lose here. Oh. And it looks like Aura Fury is gonna play to that fact. They're gonna just walk up to the spawn door and say, "All right, y'all gonna have to deal with us right here. We're Reaper, we're Symmetra, and we're Ramatra. Y'all gotta do something about us standing at your spawn door."
I mean, this could really go either way. I mean, every second off of the clock is incredibly good for Aura Fury. So even if they lose this engagement, I mean, they've already stalled out. Like, this is already going to be, like, pretty equal percentage-wise, or time-wise, in terms of them actually getting some forward progress. As every trade is a good trade if you're Aura Fury here.
Yeah, absolutely. And good job, but oh, that's not good though for ACS to be, well, okay, you're not moving the card at least. That's one positive you can definitely take from that. So a really good fight. You burned 40 seconds off the clock before this card even really started moving.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of ult charges to be spoken of. Vero going to be coming close to a high noon, I guess. But, I mean, Aura Fury is okay with that. They just want to burn time, build up their own ults, force Unwoke to use their ults to win a fight, and then they just take the win once we, you know, maybe they allow a first cap, maybe they force a really long fight here on the second one, and nobody's taking too much damage. You need to leave right now.
Oh, the wall coming out from Wubbs. ACS just barely going to live, but Vero has taken down Gato. You don't have your Baptiste, and I mean Wubbs. Doesn't matter what character Wubbs is on, there's going to be a lot of damage coming through, and we're down to 25 seconds left on that clock, and this is that ult fight you were talking about.
Yeah, Aura Fury, I mean, Unwoke, if they need to make sure they win this fight without committing everything. Oh no, Aura Fury.
Well, that seems to be one way for that to happen. Kitsune Rush gonna be popped by Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts. Gato has fallen, and I mean, now if you're Aura Fury, you just need to back off, right? Just back off, get a reset, fight at this corner that it's at right now. Oh my goodness, you're actually in a really bad situation right now.
They're panicking. They're actually panicking. They need to just stabilize. They're just getting randomly and individually picked, and they're not forcing the ults, which is devastating. You need to kind of force ults out here and now. There's the High Noon. That's one ult to be forced. If you could force another one out, that'd be huge. Oh my god.
Oh, wow, I cannot believe that didn't kill anybody. There goes the Sim Barrier coming out, the Blizzard coming out, Kitsune being popped, and that is going to go the way of Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts. They have burned through everything but that Annihilation. It's going to be a point capture, and only Annihilation's available for both sides.
It's all falling apart. Or if you didn't have to pop your ults there, you force everything up from Unwoke, and then you just re-engage with an incredible ult advantage, but now you only have one. It's an Annihilation versus an Annihilation, and you have nothing on the board. Kairos is already so far ahead in terms of this rush. That's going to be the second ult that comes up after these Annihilations, and Aura Fury might have thrown away this completely easy win.
It's very possible. We'll have to see what happens in this next engage. You're going to have to touch the point. Who's going to pop the Annihilation first? It's going to be ACS. Immediately followed up by Nobody. Atomic Duck has fallen, but Nobody has also fallen. Gato taking down Wubs. Wait a minute. Aura Fury said, hold on. We're going to take this map. We are not going to give this one up. All we needed was that Annihilation. Aura Fury taking 2-1 series lead and taking us to match point.
Dude, I'm gonna have a stroke. I mean, Aura Fury made that way harder than it needed to be. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm. You could have just waited, right? Like, they popped 3 of their ults. You know, they used their beat when you walled, and then they popped even more and more ults. Like, they High Noon, you wall, they beat, and you're like, okay, that's all we need to pop. That's good right then and there. But then they decided to commit even more, and so I got really nervous for them. But Aura Fury able to clutch it up in the end and go up to match point. But man, this was a nail biter. A jaw clencher, whatever close other, and oh god, not again! let him rest.
We will never do such a thing. It's been quite the barn burner so far. Both these teams showing that they really want to get up to that winners final here in the Masters tier, our biggest tier, and I would argue our most competitive tier as well. So, I mean, I would expect nothing less from 2 teams of this caliber.
Yeah, just really good back and forth engagement. I mean, a long one. I mean, we're an hour and a half in, and we're only 3 maps in. I mean, if another map goes the way of Unwoke, I mean, this could go to midnight, genuinely. I mean, even though I think it might already. I mean, okay, now you're Unwoke, and now you get map pick, and you get first ban, so that could make you go back to a Brawly-ish comp. But, you know, wait, wasn't that Unwoke? That was a 21-minute game of Shambali, jeez Louise. I need to, wasn't this already Unwoke's map pick?
It was them removing the possibility of another dive map being picked, essentially. Was
okay.
my thinking when they picked it initially.
I'm going to have to hope that's what they're thinking, as, yeah, I mean, that was already their map pick and they lost, so they're going to have to hope that their next one goes a lot better, otherwise they're going to be sent down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, this is do or die time. And that right there, that stat block is the prime example of how this is an objective-based game, because Unwoke had the better stats, like, across the board and lost that map. So, you know, got to play the objective, right? I kept saying every time it happened, it was so smart that Aura Fury was dying on cart. They didn't get a single kill on that first fight they took, and that actually ended up being the reason that they even were able to hold, because that 40 seconds that they burned off the clock there ended up being so crucial when it came to the end of that map.
Dude, I feel my heart rate. Like, that was so intense and back and forth. I mean, good lord, that was that was as close of a series or a map as you can really get it. As you know, I was like, oh, Unwoke have the advantage because Wubs is killing everything, and then I was like, oh, Unwoke is kind of losing a little bit on the defense, and then I was like, oh, dang, Aura Fury capped with a lot of time, and then Unwoke attacked, and I was like, well, good golly, Miss Molly, right? They had even more of a time bank going into the extra rounds, and then tragedy befell the side of Aura Fury as they kind of, or the Unwoke side, as they let a point and 2 get capped, and so then I was like, oh my gosh, Aura Fury's gonna run away with this, and then it was just a back and forth, a roller coaster of emotions, as that really could have gone any which way, and none of the ways that I thought it might have.
I always say they were trying to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And, you know, if you're hearing your heart rate too much, I think you would take like a Tums for that. That might be.
I might have Tums, actually.
I think.
I might have Tums. I had a big dinner. I had a big dinner. That might not have helped.
I don't even know what Tums do. I just know that people take them sometimes. But off of the subject of over-the-counter medicines and onto the subject of the next map that is being picked, I am not surprised at all with where Unwoke has decided to take us. They are opting for Suravasa for our next map.
Yeah, if you were to think of a more brawly map, it'd be Suravasa. I mean, I guess there's a couple of high grounds that are important and maybe allow you to run dive, but I mean, this is really going to be a brawl. This is going a brawl is surely brewing, as Cuphead says, or the Cuphead like announcer says, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Unwoke are going to be trying to force this brawl mirror. They seemed completely dominant when it was on Nepal. I mean, a 2-0, not really close, and every single other map so far has been, look, at 2, 3, 4, 5. These have been back and back engagements. And so Unwoke trying to take us to a brawl in order to even up the series.
Yes, they are going to be trying to even this series up. Bans are going to be incredibly important on this map too. Unwoke going to have the first ban, and I got to be honest with you, I think they have to ban a DPS because they have to protect the Mei. The Mei was the one thing that was really stopping the comp of Aura Fury from aggressing into them effectively. I don't know, what do you think?
I think that Mei is a little bit more difficult to run on a flashpoint or just any control in general, because unlike a payload map, especially in an overtime situation, you don't really have to stick onto the point. You can let you know, a flip come through. You can kind of kite out if the blizzard is there. But I mean, on a payload map, it's a lot more difficult to deal with a blizzard than it is on a control point. But I do think you're right. I do think that maybe the Mei is something that they need to protect. So maybe you take out. I mean, you already used your Emre ban. Ooh, that's interesting.
Okay, so they're gonna go for the Diva ban. I think if you're Aura Fury, I think you just ban Mei.
Yeah.
And you go Ramatra again.
That's what I'm thinking. You've left this Mei open. I mean, maybe their thought process is, oh, now the Diva can't eat my blizzards, but Aura Fury should probably just ban out the Mei, so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we're probably just going to see Ramatra mirror yet again. Maybe, I don't know, these teams haven't been running Zarya at all, so I don't think that'll be coming out. I don't see why they don't just ban Mei and move on. A lot of these, ooh, that's not Mei. What?
Well, Vero has been putting in work on that Tracer for sure, but like I said, I think you and I just had the same vision from what happened on the last map, that it seemed like Aura Fury could handle every hero that was being thrown at them except that Mei. Like, the Mei seemed to be the one thing they could not consistently deal with. But in this instance, they're saying, no, get rid of the Tracer. We didn't care for that on control. So, I mean, it makes sense. Vero has been really strong on it the whole series.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But I think Wubs has been more of a standout player, right? It's been difficult to deal with them on Hanzo, on Mei, and you know, off of the Hanzo, going over to the Mei was probably the best decision they made, because you know, despite Hanzo having that one-shot capability, Blizzard is just a much superior ultimate, right? You're going to be able to slow people down, shut down ults. I mean, it should just be a completely night and day situation. So, I mean, this should just be Wubs running out on the Mei again, and I don't know how I feel if Aura Fury, have they figured out a solution to it? I'm gonna hope so. They are gonna be able to run the Emre this time, so maybe that's gonna be the difference maker that they need.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. You're going to have that spam damage coming in from the Emre. I say all the time, that grenade damage is so underrated from that character. I see so many players in these CGL matches getting final blows off of that grenade damage, but here we are, both teams going to be coming out, meeting at our first point.
Yeah, interesting to see no Kiriko from the side of Aura Fury. I mean, they haven't been running it in the past, but I think that the Kairos should definitely have that advantage here. You just have to make sure if you're end, you don't, take too much damage. You need to build up beats incredibly fast.
Yeah, I mean, ACS already doing a lot of damage, hasn't even used... Oh, no, you've already lost your backline. If you're Aura Fury, that is an easy first fight win for Unwoke Yaoi. I would want to know how exactly that happened. How did we just lose our backline immediately like that?
Well, you see, Shadow, one really interesting thing came through, and it's called the fact that you're on BAP and not on Kiri. As you have that immortality field for a little bit of time, but then once it explodes, you don't have anything, and there goes Gato yet again. It'd be really cool there, a Suzu. It's going to be really difficult for Aura Fury to be running this backline here, as I wouldn't be surprised if Gato doesn't swap over to the Kiriko, it's going to be really difficult for them to get any kind of distance or any kind of space whatsoever once, that immortality field is forced because of the amount of poke damage that Unwoke has.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the ult charge difference, too, just because of the quickness with which that backline is going down. Already 75 on that Kitsune rush, and Wubs already building up to that Blizzard as well. Here we are, Blizzard potentially just going to be dropped on the point. It does get dropped, and would you look at that? That's both backliners getting caught in the Blizzard. Gato just getting honestly kind of bullied by the side of Unwoke Yaoi right now. Is falling, but wait a minute, Atomic Duck said, hold on, y'all remember that I played this Emre character, right? I did so much on 2 maps ago with it, so let me just flip the point real quick.
Really good flip from Aura Fury, despite them not having any ults, but Wubs just, blizzarded the Lucio, not able to secure the other kill into the BAP, however, until it was too late. So now, I mean, Unwoke can re-engage incredibly fast, but here's an override protocol that is kind of unmatched. Oh, well, there's a high noon to match it.
Oh, not the high noon, Deadeye, not both backliners again. My supports are dead again. Oh no. What a situation we have found ourselves in if we're Aura Fury. That is going to be first point going the way of Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts.
I need to know how many times Blank have Gato have been taken out first. Or how many deaths they have in general. I feel like it's, 3, I think, so far? 4, maybe, individually? They've just been dying way too much. They don't have this survivability. They're just getting targeted first, and Unwoke's supports are just, sticking inside of their team so incredibly well that they're just impossible to kill.
Amplification Matrix is going to get laid down by Gato. The entirety of Aura Fury hopping onto the point. Wubs does get taken down, though. That is the most worth death blossom I have ever seen in my life. Wubs was about to build up to a Blizzard. Both annihilations coming out. The sound barrier getting dropped as well for the side of Aura Fury. You might wish you had that sound barrier back for the next fight, but first fight is going to go Aura Fury's way.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if the mic picked up that I talked over you, but I was like, why did that sound barrier come out from Blank? I mean, I guess you just want to secure the fight win. But the problem, oh my god, look at how much damage to send it. Oh my god, you're taking too much damage. You need to stabilize. I mean, oh no, oh god. Oh.
Yep,
oh,
there it is. Blizzard has been dropped. Immortality Field has also been dropped. And I mean, this is just unfortunate circumstances we have found ourselves in if we're Aura Fury. The point is eventually going to flip. You do get up to 60% at least, and you at least force the Blizzard out, I suppose, if you're going to take positives here.
going back to the fight previously, I was like, why did you Sound Barrier? And then I realized that nobody had used Annihilation. I was like, wait, where did the Annihilation go? But then Aura Fury just got too big for their britches and decided to walk onto Wubs. And, you know, Wubs always has an ultimate in the back pocket. And so Aura Fury, gonna lose the objective here. Could even lose this next fight.
Oh my goodness, nobody just throwing punches. The punches are fast and furious, not like the franchise though. This is just the literal sequence of the punches coming out. Sound Barrier is now going to be online though for Unwoke Yaoi, and Aura Fury, we're not looking at too much over there.
This BAP isn't working. You've already used the Kiriko Band, I understand, but this BAP is just not working. Maybe you try something with a little bit more survivability. If you're not running the Kiriko, I think that's fine, but this BAP is just not working. You get shut down way too easily, especially once your Immortality Field has been utilized, and this window is just an ultimate that you're just not going to be able to find a lot of value on.
Oh, Override Protocol coming out, catching on to some targets there. Wub's going to be forced into the ice block already out. No final blows coming through from Atomic Duck, but Atomic Duck putting hands on a little bit of everybody right there. Going into last fight for this point, and I don't know, what are you thinking about these alt sides?
If I had to look at the ults, Unwoke, actually it's going to be pretty oh, the Scarcity just got jumped and they didn't even know from where, as that is going to be really unfortunate. But a lot of ults still from the other side of Unwoke, as they're going to be kind of matching here. If I had to say which ult I preferred, I would probably say Unwoke, but they're going to give up the point, and so now it's a 1-1 situation. But Unwoke, if they just kind of open up with a Blizzard here, really could just shut down everything Aura Fury is working forward.
They really could. Yeah, Aura Fury not having that Sound Barrier online is going to be really key, because End does have Sound Barrier, so you're just kind of stuck in a bad situation. You can't get up to that high ground either. Ant Matrix is going to come down from Gato, and there comes that Blizzard from Wubs, and there's the Sound Barrier coming out from End. A Reason already taken down. They are just pushing this cast of Vero so hard right now. ACS on the point, going to eventually fall, but in the meantime just going to stall out as much as they can. There you go, first fight done.
That was a little bit of over-ulting there from Unwoke. I mean, they used two of their most powerful ults. They popped the Blizzard and they popped the Beat for nothing from the side of Aura Fury. I mean, they're going to have 4 ults essentially online here. This High Noon and this Annihilation have to go massive from Unwoke. Otherwise, I mean, this could just be a very quick flip here. Okay, or you can just die in main. What?
Well, we have lost our Atomic Duck, one of the most important players on our team, I would say, just based on what we've seen so far. Here's the Deadeye coming out. Catching on to 2 is Vero, and I mean, there's another one for Vero. Do we got any more? Nope, that's going to be it. I mean, what else can you say other than what a great Deadeye?
Yeah, really good Deadeye there from the side of Vero, but Aura Fury have ults. They can utilize them. I mean, Unwoke won that with just a High Noon, but they could have easily beated and tried to stabilize there. But now I'm worried that Aura Fury's going to over-ult here.
Oh, well, they've already popped that Sound Barrier. An End has fallen. Vero has fallen as well. Atomic Duck and Gato traded out for the other side. Point Cap has gone the way of Aura Fury. There's that Death Blossom. And nobody popping that Annihilation. There goes the Blizzard as well. Not going to catch on to anybody, but Wub's taking out Blink anyways. Kairos still alive. ACS taking down a Kairos, and that is going to be End retreating, as ACS is the only one left alive from that blood path for both sides.
Unwoke popped Annihilation and Blizzard to find nothing. Now Aura Fury have all the advantage in the world. End is going to have a Beat. That's going to be the only thing that they have online here. But you have to make sure that you get a lot of value off of it, as you have to save it for either the Annihilation or there is the Override Protocol, so that makes it a little bit easier.
Oh my goodness, there it is, the Override Protocol and the Annihilation. So much damage coming through for Aura Fury. The slow catching on to End. and that I think that's going to be a point capture for Aura Fury. I don't believe anybody can touch here.
No, it doesn't look like they should, as now we're going to be kind of back in a neutral position. The high noon is the only thing that Unwoke have. Actually, it's going to be the only thing that anybody has. Next up is going to be, a rush from Gato, who's finally swapped over to the Kiriko, thank God, as definitely a more survivable character, as they're going to be meeting directly onto this next point already, as Atomic Duck is able to kill Vero. That's the one ultimate that was online, so this is a really neutral fight.
Very neutral fight indeed. ACS has dropped End, but traded their life out in the process, but nobody immediately follows as well. And there goes Kairos. If you can just deal with Wubs here, that should be an easy first point capture, and an easy first point capture it shall be.
Yeah, really good from Aura Fury there. Just, recognizing the one ult, and Veera's going to swap over to the M right now. Not going to be able to find a lot of value there. The first cap is coming through for Aura Fury, and they have a lot of ults coming online. Unwoke do have two of their own. They have that Blizzard and they have that Rush, but it's going to be difficult for them to get in, really, especially with Aura Fury going first.
And there's the Blizzard coming out, and you catch it on to Gato. On that, Kiriko tries to teleport, but doesn't teleport in time. Trades are happening back and forth, but it does eventually go the way of Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts.
Oh no, Gato could have lived that, but greeted the TP too hard, and so they lose the engagement. And they popped two ults because a reason decided for some reason, not a reason, to pop their own Death Blossom. In a lost fight, as End gets taken down, but a Rush is going to be there to mirror.
There's the Override Protocol coming out to match that sound barrier. Atomic Duck already taking down End. Atomic Duck taking down quite a few targets in the meantime. They do give their own life, but the point flip does go their way eventually.
Yeah, so now Aura Fury have an Annihilation on the board. That's it. Both sides have the Annihilation. Vero going to be incredibly close to an Override Protocol, 70% and counting. But if ACS just runs at him fast enough, there's not much that they can do about it. So this could potentially be last fight territory, as they're going to be trying to rotate to this middle area. But this is a dangerous area. Oh my gosh. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, there's the Annihilation coming out from nobody, trying to run up on this Emre. Like you mentioned previously, point flip does come through. 88%. Here we are. This is going to be last fight territory, I would say, for this point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. It's Aura Fury have just an Annihilation, and Unwoke have just an Override Protocol and a beat from End. As long as End doesn't get taken down first in this engagement like they have been getting in the previous situations. Oh gosh, that's a really quick Annihilation. Oh no, Blank is taken down. This should just be the fight win for Unwoke.
It should indeed be the Override Protocol putting in work from Vero. And there it is. We're in a 2-2 situation. Point number 5 to force a map number 5.
Oh my god, this last point is going to be so crucial, as Aura Fury don't really have anything. Unwoke have that Blizzard online here. They want to make sure they don't use it before this flashpoint unlocks, though, because otherwise it's just going to kind of be a free reset for Aura. What you have to really wonder is, can Blank build up this beat fast enough to maybe match Kairos' Rush? But, I mean, with Wubs getting a pick like that, that's going to make things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that's a tough spot you done found yourself in right there. A Reason just trying to get a kill. Does indeed get one. Hold on now. This Reaper's deadly. Don't stand too close. These shotguns can put in some work. That Death Blossom's online. Oh, wait a minute. The Death Blossom catching on to 2. And that's going to be another one. And A Reason has found a prayer.
Oh my god, A Reason just gets 5 with nothing. I mean, I thought that Unwoke had completely won that fight off of just 2 instantaneous picks from Wubs there. But, I mean, they are just, Unreason just not giving up. Has their Kiriko still alive? And it's like, don't worry, I've got this. Oh lord, both rushes. This is going to be a battle.
Oh my goodness, there goes the Blizzard. Wubs throwing it out. Doesn't look like it's catching on to anybody, though. But it is causing a little bit of a split. But, I mean, A Reason and Atomic Duck have fallen in the meantime. ACS trying to get some more kills, not going to find any more. But, I mean, you know, you're not too upset about that if you're Aura Fury, because realistically, you had no business having that point to begin with.
True. Aura Fury did commit 2 ults there. They popped the Override Protocol and the Rush. I didn't see the Override Protocol find any value whatsoever, so Unwoke going to be at an advantage. They have an Annihilation, and they have an Override Protocol of their own. Blank has to just go nuclear here with a beat. Otherwise, this could just be the end of the map right here and there, as Aura Fury going to desperately try to build up a lot of ult charge, but it's going to be so difficult walking into these ults.
Here we go. Like you said, Blink, very important. Sound barrier does not come out. That is another Ajax. It has happened, people. The Ajax has happened again. We've had 2 of them. 2 of them in 1 match. I think there should be another fight, though, so you might be able to have some redemption here.
Yeah, but what does Aura Fury have? They have an Annihilation, but a beat is still available for end here. Unless there's a 3rd Ajax, this is going to be so difficult. I mean, this is going to be so bad from the side. I mean, the Override Protocol can come online here, and AC is already so incredibly low. You just have to hope that end Ajax is if you're the side of Aura Fury. Otherwise, this is the map.
And there it is. Sound barrier does not Ajax. The Annihilation comes out as well. And here we go. This is going to be the end of this map. Eventually, they're all going to fall, and that is going to be the map win for Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts, forcing that map 5.
We're going to map 5. Good gravy. As okay, Aura Fury, the ball is in your court now. Unwoke, get the job done. But man, was it close. I mean, this has been a battle of the titans for this entire time. Just a really good showing here from all of these players, all of this. I mean, we're going the complete distance. We're going through every single map type. We're going through all of the bans available. This is, I mean, if this doesn't make you root for CGL and CGL players, I mean, then I don't know what will. Because I know it's going to be really funny when one of these teams gets immediately eliminated in the lower bracket, because wouldn't that be funny? But no, that's just me talking. Of course, I don't wish bad on any team, but I do think that this could really go either direction still. But I think Aura Fury gonna have the map pick now, and the first ban, so they're gonna really have to dig deep because a lot of these bans have already been utilized.
Yeah, it would have been crazy if like Unwoke didn't have a Mei on that point. I just think.
Yeah, you know, it'd be so crazy. It'd be so crazy if the Mei wasn't available, right? That'd be so weird.
Oh my goodness. I'm still in disbelief that Aura Fury did not ban out that Mei. Yeah,
they have to this map, right? Like, they just have to. Otherwise, they're just trolling.
We will see. It's really going to depend on what map they opt for as well, but I tend to be of the same mindset as you are in that regard. But what a back and forth map. What a back and forth series for that matter. Both these teams are trying their absolute hardest to move on to this winner's grand final to play against Shoes Production Crew.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wins this going against Shoes Production Crew. No, not the slowdown again. No. Oh my god. You can't do that. I mean, if I'm to look at these stats, I'm going to be so honest. Okay, never mind. I was going to say looking at these stats, but like nobody's 47-9. So, I mean, this was just a clash between all of these players. What a really good series. I'm so glad I got to be here with you, Shadow.
Oh, Mega, that was Flashpoint. Clash doesn't exist anymore.
All right, you know what? Oh my gosh.
Well, with that being said, and me making my horrible jokes once again, we are going to go to our second break right now. That'll be another 3 to 4 minute break momentarily. Give the teams a moment to rest, recoup, figure out what their next move is for this map 5. But don't go anywhere. You're going to want to see how this series ends. And it all comes down to this. We're in a map 5 situation, and it's not a map that can be drawn. Well, I guess it can be drawn. It would take, I think the teams would have to try and draw it, though, for it to draw. Like, there would have to be some shenanigans happening for it to happen. Point being, we're in a map 5 situation. It's been a very back and forth affair. I'm Shadowfang2 once again. Mega Ninja 44 joining me tonight in this game. Unwoke Yaoi enthusiast, Aura Fury. 2-2. We're in map 5. It's been a back and forth series so far, Mega.
It has been a long one, a battle of attrition to say the least. Unwoke, it was scary for them. Starting on Nepal, completely dominating Aura Fury, and then we went to Numbani, and it looked incredibly close. And then we went to Shambali, and that was a roller coaster of emotion. I, honest to God, might watch that back because there were ups, there was downs, there was laughter, there was tears, there was everything that they say about like Oscar-winning movies. It happened in the Shambali Monastery map, and then Servasa went all 5 sub points. So you know, we're gonna be down here. This is going the entire. I mean, everything has gone the entire distance. Except for Nepal, essentially. We've gone to extra rounds on Shambali. We've gone through all 5 sub-maps on Flashpoint. Numbani went all the way to 3rd. We just missed 1 sub-map on Nepal, and this is going to be it. We're going... we do know our next map. We're going to be going to Runasapi. Yep. So at least this one will be 10 minutes at least.
That is the one benefit of this mode type, right? We know exactly how long it's going to be. There are no guesses about how long it might take for us to play this. It is going to take a flat 10 minutes. Runasapi, here we are. This was Aura Fury's pick. I mean, you don't have much pick when it comes to push maps, let's just be honest. But Runasapi, I think, is probably the best of all these maps if you were gonna pick one. And Aura Fury going to have that first ban here. You and I keep saying it. I mean, is there any chance that there is anything other than a May picked? How much you want to bet they ban Ramatra?
If they ban Ramatra, I'm quitting the broadcast right here, right now. I'm sorry, you're just not gonna have a color for the rest of the night. If Aura Fury do not ban the May here, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. Right? There's no other ban. Thank you, Aura Fury. They masterful play from them to save it for the last map, to shut down Wubs. Genius level play there. And it's gonna make things a lot more difficult for Unwoke because now they just have what, tank and support. What are you gonna ban out the Ramatra? I guess.
That is potentially an option for you. You could ban out the Lucio as well, because I would say now you're airing more towards like a poke style so that Wubs can hover on that Hanzo that we've seen again. So I don't think, or you could ban Baptiste because Gato wants to play it so much, but Gato played well on the Kiriko when they did play the Kiriko. It's not like they played it poorly. So I don't know. I think Lucio, Brigitte, interesting. Okay.
What is Brigitte? Did they play Brigitte? What is that ban?
They have played it before. Yes, but not since Numbani.
On Numbani, yeah, where it made sense because there's dive. I don't think you're going to be running Brig on Runasapi. I mean, I think, have they banned BAP already? I don't think they have. I don't understand why they don't ban out the BAP, force Gato onto that. Oh, we do have a substitution, actually, from the side of Unwoke. It is going to, oh gosh, who is that? That is going to be Kizzo in for Vero. So hopefully that'll be a substitution that Unwoke are going to be happy with. But I don't know what Wubs is going to play now that May's off the table. Is it going to be back over to that Hanzo?
Probably. That's what I'm anticipating, that we're just going to see that Hanzo again. And you're in a situation, if you're Aura Fury, if that Hanzo comes back on the board, you almost... Well, do you? I don't know. I was going to say you almost certainly have to play that Symmetra again and teleport onto the back line, but do you? We could end up in a Diva mirror. That might also be the thing that happens here. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what we're looking at. That's right. Nobody does like playing Wrecking Ball, so we might see some Wrecking Ball shenanigans for our map 5.
It could be an option. A reason going to be over on that Reaper yet again. And again, Gato going to be on that ball. Sorry, the Baptiste. So it's going to be so difficult to play that into the ball. You're going to get dove on cooldown. I guess it's not going to be as bad as Ramacha running in your face, but it's going to be difficult to stay alive as Aura Fury going to be trying their absolute best to win this out right here, right now, as the robot's going to be unlocking in 20 seconds, and nobody already going to be rolling right on around the town.
Nobody heading towards the back line, trying to get that swing damage. Looking for it. Kizzo coming through at the same time. Gato getting slammed next to, not on, but near and falling. But in the meantime, the rest of the team has actually died from Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts. Not sure exactly how that happened because, you know, this wrecking ball is it's kind of hard to tell. But I mean, what in the world just happened right there?
Well, see, here's the thing. Nobody is on a ball instead of an actual real tank. So the whole time that they're flying around the map doing whatever, it's actually a 4v5 on the objective. So the rest of Aura Fury just blow everybody apart. And Wubs gets taken down. Not having that Mei on the table definitely seems to be a hindrance for them as we are now approaching this first checkpoint. And Aura Fury I just look unstoppable right now. I mean, I know it's only been a fight or so, but with another kill and a nobody, that's not a good look.
No, it is not at all. I mean, look at ACS just aggressing all the way into the back line. Look at how far back they are. They're up at like 120 meters. We're not even at the checkpoint yet. I mean, this is crazy work right now. Ult charges really aren't that insane, though, so this is still recoverable for Unwoke Yaoi.
Yeah, nobody's going to make that swap over the Ramatra. I think it's a really better idea. Gato definitely going to be pressured out a lot more into the Ramatra. Going to have to play a lot more back. But right now, I mean, Arisen just seems to be doing a lot of poking and prodding, and a lot more space is being made as there goes nobody yet again. This is not looking as close as the rest of these maps have been.
No, it is not. What in the world has happened here? Unwoke Yaoi was doing so well on the last map, and they are just getting absolutely steamrolled right now. We're already upwards of 90 meters and not even anything close to a fight loss. That's a double punch coming through for ACS. ACS said, hold on, I gotta go touch the spawn doors. Give me a second here. Hold on, hold on.
Who's on the objective? You gotta help your Baptiste. It's just a Tracer, but I mean, they're still getting meter. Run, Tracer, run! Blank, run away. This is, uh-oh. This is a problem. Is this gonna be a full cap in like 2.5 minutes? I think they heard that we're getting tired.
No, like, seriously. The Ant Matrix comes out. It's another one. Another one. Do we have that sound bite of DJ Khaled saying another one? Because I can't believe we've seen 3 of them. I think they've all been blinked, too.
No, ended one Ajax, but 2 of them have been blanked. Oh my god, where's the pop-up? Make the pop-up happen. CGL Ajax. I cannot believe a 3rd one. Oh my lord. Oh my god. End is gonna have now the beat advantage, but it's gonna be a hill that they have to climb as it's 118 meters to 0.
Oh my gosh. Atomic Duck just laying in this damage on this. Oh my goodness, nobody just coming out of nowhere to finish off those kills. And this is what you need if you're the side of Unwoke Yaoi. But I mean, once again, I talk about how Aura Fury is always on the objective. Right there, Arisen realizes they're losing the fight, runs off with the bot, right? Just to be a little bit more of a nuisance, you know, really smart play.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation there. As Aura Fury going to be having 3 ults on the board. End has a beat, but I mean, with how the Lucios have been playing, I'm gonna hold on my table when this next one gets cast. As they're going to be trying to make up for lost ground, but it's going to be a daunting challenge. They have to win, what is it, like 4 fights in a row, maybe 5?
Oh, here comes the override protocol out from Atomic Duck, looking for that damage. Not gonna lay too much into anybody. They do retreat. Meanwhile, back at the cart, it is moving along. Kizzo grabbing 2 and getting another. ACS grabbing 1 for themselves, though. In the meantime, eventually they are going to fall, though. And that is very bad for Aura Fury.
They popped everything. Why did they do that? They have no ults available now, and I mean, I guess Unwoke doesn't have anything either. They have a pulse bomb, but there's 5 minutes left on the clock. They get the objective. There's 60 meters left to go, and I mean, you're Aura Fury. You could have just like let the fight go. They could have just let that end, but I mean, that's gonna be a nice neutral pick. As right now, Kizzo gonna be kind of have to go crazy with this Pulse Bomb in order to make things stabilizing, as Aura Fury going to try their absolute best to keep up this pressure.
Atomic Duck said, hey, bro, you remember what happened on Numbani, right? I'm like that. So let me just get this early kill and help my team aggress to the other side of the map once again. Like you said, Kizzo going to have that Pulse Bomb, going to be looking for something. Kairos going to have that Kitsune Rush online as well. Nobody has dropped Gato. End has also fallen, but nobody going really low on that Ramatra. Going to fall. Kairos taking down Blink. Nice shield placement coming through, and nice stick for Kizzo as well. And eventually that fight does finally go the way of Unwoke Yaoi and Enthusiast.
Yeah, okay, so now... Okay, we're gonna have to try and see now if 2 support ults from the set of Aura Fury, they're gonna have those online, and now this override protocol from Unwoke has to go absolutely massive. Right now they don't have a lot of players left to keep pushing these objectives, so they're gonna take the forward spawn but then back up immediately. So right now it is just a battle of attrition. There's 4 minutes left on the clock, and Aura Fury are happy just pushing this bot back as far as possible.
Ooh, Gato getting a kill onto Wubs is huge. That override protocol not going to be online. Ant Matrix getting popped by Gato, looking to try and layer that damage out. Everybody going to back up, turning off those forward spawns for Unwoke Yaoi. Going to be very important here. Kitsune Rush is online for Kairos. Are they going to pop it here before this corner gets rounded? And it looks like they are. Override Protocol going to come out from Wubs as well. Going to be matched out by that sound barrier. No Ajaxes to be had this time, but that's going to be a kill onto Gato from Wubs. That is your primary source of healing taken care of. But Atomic Duck and a Reason have traded out Kizzo and Kairos in that meantime. No Kiriko going to be available. Both Lucios have now fallen as well. Annihilation getting popped by nobody, and that's one of those moments where nobody like heard the music in their head, like the 1v5. I'm gonna clutch this music.
I actually just suffered. Nobody actually just suffered from main character syndrome right there, where they thought, yeah, I got that, and so decided to pop their ult. And so now the ult economy is in shambles. Aura Fury have 3 ults on the table, so desperately Unwoke is going to be trying to get back into this fight, but they have nothing. Pulse Bomb gonna have to go crazy, but Aura Fury have everything on the board. This is just looking so bad for Unwoke.
Oh my goodness, there it is, the override protocol catching Kairos, nobody falling down as well. This Lucio of Blink grabbing some more kills as well, and trying to do something in this back line, but eventually falling to Blink as well. A triple kill for the Lucio.
I'm really worried. End is going to be coming up on that beat, but it's going to be 2 minutes left on the clock, and they're still going to have meterage. Aura Fury has a Reaper ult and an Annihilation. This could go bad, as End is just going to have to build this up incredibly fast. Otherwise, Gato taken down. Going to make things a little bit more easy.
Death Blossom coming out as well as that Annihilation. A lot of kills coming through for the side of Aura Fury. That's another kill on to Kairos. I believe that is going to be, it is. What an anticlimactic 5th map we have had here, Mega. That's a full cap. Aura Fury going to move on to that Winners Finals.
What a... I have no words. I have no words. It started off as a duel. It came on as a fight. It went on and scrapping, and it just came down to a brawl of the century. But Aura Fury just had more in the tank, and so they're going to be able to come out on top of this. I mean, look at these. Okay, wait, that's Servas's stat line.
That is.
That is true. Because I was like, wait, this is looking like crazy stats considering that was not a really quick map.
I was like, wait a minute, that top right says Servas. I recognize.
I was like, wait, how did nobody go 47-9? They lost. Really good showing there from Dire Fury, Aura Fury, dude. Can you tell that it's been a long day? Really, okay, now we're getting the, okay, so yeah, Arisen 12-6, Atomic Duck 25-4, good lord, is Emery broken or what? I mean, really good showing there from Aura Fury in order to get the job done. It started off not in their favor, it went back and forth in multiple maps, but they're able to clutch it up, and in 8 minutes, they're going to full cap on Runasapi and knock down Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiast, who were the #2 seed, so this is definitely an upset.
I mean, yeah, they were without their starting tank, though. It is worth noting that Cloud Lemon normally going to be the person who plays tank a majority of the time for that team, but still, they're still a good team regardless. But another team you don't necessarily want to see down in that lower bracket. You got to deal with Dire Triggers and Unwoke Yaoi enthusiasts down there. Like I said, it ain't a fun time for everybody in the lower bracket right now.
No, God, no. Dire Triggers and Unwoke. I mean, good lord. Aura Fury. It is a little bit of an asterisk next to both of these wins, however. Because, you know, you have to be like, oh, well, Dire Triggers didn't have their main roster, and neither did Unwoke Yaoi, so, like, are these wins, like, really real? But, like, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, Aura Fury walk away with the wins. At the end of the day, it's just going to be Aura Fury walking away. No matter who your roster is, no matter how the situation is, it is just going to be nobody on the side of Unwoke being able to get the job done. You know, it's not just one individual player. It is on everybody as Aura Fury get the job done, move on to the next round, and secure another close spot to making it to grand finals.
I know you said nobody in the sense that nobody, but it's also hilarious that somebody on that team is named Nobody.
I did notice that as I was like, wait, I don't want to sound like I'm calling him out specifically. I meant not a single person.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
We got to see 3 Ajaxes in this game, man. What a great time this was. You know, we got to see 3 Ajaxes in one series. I can't believe it.
Can we just get can we just make a B-roll or something where it's just like you put like classic like 1940s music like da-da-da-dun da-dun-da-dun da-da-da-da-da-dun da-dun-dun, and it just shows all the Ajaxes throughout the series? That'd be kind of fun, right?
Oh man, but here's our map scores that we saw throughout. It was a very competitive series, except for the bookends, I would say. Map 1 and Map 5 were not particularly competitive, but everything in the middle was really good. It's like a sandwich with bad bread.
It's like the two ends of the bread, you know, like the two butt ends that everybody just throws away.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. But the middle 3 maps were crazy. Shimbali was a banger. Servasa was a banger. Numbani was also a banger. Just those, you know, first and last maps not going to be going the way that Unwoke wanted them. Well, I guess Unwoke wanted that to start the way, but not able to get the job done. And so we can take a look at the bans really quickly. I think really strategic. I think we were we were both perplexed with Aura Fury not banning Mei on map number 4, but hey, I think it worked out in their favor. They save it for map number 5, and then they get the win off of it.
I'm a believer that map 4 might have looked like map 5 if there was no Mei available, just based on what we ended up seeing. I mean, oh my goodness, that Mei, that's how much work that Mei was actually putting in. That was insane. Aura Fury gonna move on to that winners finals to play against Shu's production crew. We are going to cut to a quick break here. We're going to have an interview with somebody from Aura Fury, so stick around. We're going to ask them about their upper bracket run. right, welcome back, everybody. We are here with Blank from Aura Fury. How are you feeling after that crazy back and forth series?
I'm feeling fantastic, man. I definitely think that there was a lot of mistakes made on our part there, but I feel for the most part we played very, very well tonight.
Yeah, I think you guys definitely did play very well. I do have you guys are now going pretty far in the upper bracket. You guys have taken down Dire Triggers. You guys have taken down now Unwoke Yaoi Enthusiasts. And so I do have to ask, you guys are the lower seed, and some of these wins people are saying are a little bit, they haven't been at full strength just yet. They've had a couple of substitute players in, and so I'm just kind of wondering, how, you guys are going against Shoes Productions crew next, a daunting challenge for you guys, and I just want to know what your guys' thought process is now, knowing that you're going to have to go up against this team, and they probably will be at full strength. Are you just kind of hoping that a substitute player is there, or is there a game plan in you guys' mind?
When it comes to the substitute player allegations, truthfully, I have not played a single scrim with the team. Almost ever. I am extremely rarely in games. So as far as substitute goes, I'm as close as you're gonna get to a substitute. I don't play with the team. I more kind of sit back and watch and tell them hey, this is what we need to do to improve and fight together, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. So I'm about as close as you're gonna get to a substitute, and I've played every match so far. But we're not scared of anyone at full strength. We try to do our absolute best. Unfortunately, my team is employed. I wish they were just, they all just stayed at home all day. But we do have to play around schedules pretty heavily. So we try to be really forgiving about trying to get every team at full capacity. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we have as many players as possible.
Yeah, I think that's completely understandable. I did want to ask, it started off a little daunting for you guys. Nepal was kind of, I'm not going to say not close, but it was a 2-0. And so I have to ask, what was your guys' mindset? Were you guys scared a little bit after? Because I think the Dire Triggers was a complete reverse sweep. So, you may have started out that way, but then you guys were able to take a map almost instantaneously, and then it was back and forth from there. And so I just kind of have to ask, is there a really... there seems to be a strategic reasoning behind a lot of what you do. You guys saved that May ban for the very last map. I think you guys used your map picks and your bans incredibly well. Is there some kind of hive mind, big brain person behind the Aura Fury coaching staff?
You're talking to him. Coaching staff is exclusively me. I am all the coaching staff we have, but I also play a lot of our tourney matches together just to kind of mainly to fill that main support role or just something we're lacking somewhere. I tried to play the Pharah today on the one map, and truthfully, one thing that I really, really heavily strive to teach the team is never tilt. The game is not over till it's over. Don't let yourself believe otherwise. So that's why we can come back from these, reverse sweeps or losing first. I think we've lost first map every single series now, but it's why we're just able to keep so on key is just letting a loss go, letting it be shaken off, completely forget it. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it bring you down. Just keep pushing forward and understand that you're still in this until you're not. As far as bans and stuff like that go, truthfully, we try and avoid banning something that's extremely pressuring against us as long as we can. So we try to save really, really high pressure bans to the very last map to try then, because I'd rather ban a off pick for them than banning their main pick on map 4 and just force a map 5 series, then try to ban their main pick on map 4, and if we get pushed to map 5, well then we're screwed. We just ban their main pick. So
yeah, definitely makes sense. Really, really smart, and has worked out very well for y'all moving into that winners finals now. And then my final question, not really a question, more so just giving you the opportunity to shout out anybody that you would like to.
Yeah, so absolutely want to shout out ACS. I'm just being completely truthful. We were scrimming the week before finals, and I'll be 1,000,000,000%. He was throwing. He was absolutely throwing. And I told this to him, and he has absolutely stepped first foot forward, and just truthfully, I believe he is a very key reason we're winning these maps is the absolute aggression he has unlocked since then, as well as obviously Atomic Duck. I think he 4K or 5K'd every single ult on Nembani, which is disgusting to say the least. But just my whole team in general, Reason, Joey, who's always sitting on our backline, he's awesome. Gato has stepped up. Like, the whole team, truthfully, going into finals bracket has just absolutely stepped everything we've done so far onto a whole new level, to break Aura Theory out of the extremely mid allegations that we've received.
Allegations definitely broken. You're definitely going to finish at the lowest possible you can finish now is top 4. So that is like a crazy good season. And hey, who knows? Maybe you beat Choose Production Crew, move on to that next round. So we can't wait to see more of it. Honestly, I hope we get to cast that game again of y'all against Choose Production Crew too.
Absolutely excited to do so.
All right, well, best of luck in that, and go enjoy that win with your team, and you have a great night.
Thank you, too.
Well, all right, Mega, that was a 5-map series you and I went through there. And any last thoughts?
You know, I really decided, I thought in my bottom of my heart of hearts, I was really worried about if I wanted to ask him what his reaction was to his Ajax on Servaza, but I thought better of it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, an incredibly close series. I mean, Aura Fury is just running rampant through this upper bracket. They look powerful despite their seeding being so low. It's kind of like unanticipating, really. You don't expect it out of these teams, but I mean, hey, they've taken down Dire Triggers, they took down Unwoke Yaoi and Joyous, so definitely, gonna be interesting to see them against Choose Production Crew. I hope to watch that. I hope to cast that. That'd be a banger of a cast.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, absolutely. You see right there in the bracket where everybody fell. And here are the matches that have happened today. Pibble Platoon taking down Couch Potatoes in our EMEA match earlier today, and then you've got Drop the Guns taking down BGSU in our Diamond tier upper quarters, and then of course this match that we just finished, Aura Fury taking down Unwoke Yaoi in 3-2 fashion. I mean, what a day of Overwatch that we've had, right? And it's going to be another day tomorrow. Plenty of more games to be seen, and every day for that matter, hopefully at least, because we're going to try and cast as many games as possible. And I mean, once again, keep all your notifications turned on. Always keep an eye on the Discord server as well as Twitch. Shout out to Hippie for the production. Shout out to Blizzard for being our observer tonight. Shout out to my co-caster Mega for sticking here with me for all this time. And that's going to do it for me and Mega. And that was a fantastic game tonight. Y'all have a great night.
Then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Break
Carpe diem.